Hello everyone, welcome to Frostpunk. I'm Nerdy Fool, and today we are going to be going into the last autumn scenario. We've got just this scenario and one more that we'll be covering next week. So let's get started. So the Empire is collapsing under the strain of climate catastrophe, yet no one is ready to admit it openly. A secret project to build the generators is put into motion. So this scenario is built around the idea of us going and actually building the generator. So let's get started. You'll have an opening cutscene that will give us a bit of background. Whenever it loads.
Personal Journal of Euphemia McLaughlin, Assistant Engineer at Imperial Exploration Company. It's been 5 weeks since we have left the familiar walls of Birmingham behind. Weeks of uncertainty, of struggle, of hope. And finally, we have reached the shores. We had 3 deaths so far. Or small price for progress, as IEC called it. I can only hope I am going to avoid their fate. They've claimed there was nothing to fear, that this whole journey of ours was just a precaution. But now, it feels like the weather is changing. And the winter seems inevitable.
The last autumn, we crossed the rough northern seas to reach Site 113, where we are to build the greatest marvel of technology, a generator. Your crew, lured by the promise of a steady job and eager to leave the work riots and the bread queues behind, are somewhat taken aback at the sight of the desolate landscape surrounding the site. They were told not to ask for details, and there's no turning back now. There's no consensus why this contract has such a high priority, considering the deteriorating situation in the Empire, but your superiors are clear. This is the most important job of your life. For Queen and Country. And first thing you'll notice is the color green, which we haven't seen much of in other Frostpunk scenarios. Basic facilities. Before you begin building the generator, you have to set up the basic supply infrastructure. This means building the docks and gathering the resources piling up by them. You'll also need a raw food source, the fishing harbor or a forager's camp set up by a food source somewhere in the plains. Okay. So we'll pause right away. There's quite a bit different in this scenario. We have, starting out, we are at 10 degrees Celsius, which, if I understand temperatures correctly, is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So a nice, warm, toasty day. This overlay that usually tells us how hot or cold things are is just saying everything is comfortable, don't worry about it. So right now, we've got to build a generator here in this giant hole. Another big difference with this scenario is we've got this motivation tracker rather than the old hope tracker. And you'll see it has a effect on global work efficiency. While we're in this middle section, it's 0% change. If we can get up here into this high motivation area, all of our people will work 30% faster. If we drop down into this lower motivation, we end up getting a minus 30% speed of work. So it's critical to keep motivation high. And it's an interesting choice because rather than other scenarios where we are dealing with people who are just trying to survive, and so they just go wherever they have to work to survive. This one, these are just workers out for money. You know, if they work harder or slower, it doesn't matter to them. They're just making a buck. So it was an interesting choice there. So I'm starting out having everyone gather all of the resources there. Another thing you'll notice is engineers are not listed as people that can gather. We have engineers, we have 15 of them, but this scenario has a large gap between the workers and the engineers, where the engineers won't sully their hands picking up wood off the ground. They're far too important for that. And so we have to have workers do that. That class discrepancy of the engineers versus the workers is something we are going to see more of as this scenario goes on. I'm out of wood. So I'm going to just steal some from around the center circle. They don't need it. And we will build that out. Actually, before I build this second workshop, I'm gonna want that. But let's build a gathering post first. Can I? Okay, we'll just hit all 4 of those. It needs to have a road connecting it to the center, even though it's on the center. Now we're ready to unpause. So the engineers are still willing to build, luckily, so they'll be building the workshop and the gathering post. And meanwhile, our workers are set in all 5 of these, 6 of these piles. Five, yeah, to start gathering.
Get up, people. There's work to be done.
Okay, so we've got our workshop. Well, let's see what these people have to say first. A word of advice, first steps. Sir, our employer, the Imperial Exploration Company, has prepared for the site for us. Besides digging the enormous shaft for the underground part of the generator, they left some construction materials behind to get us started. We should set up a camp and clear the area around the shaft to make space for the construction facilities. I see. Yeah, so starting research, I think getting food is going to be where I'm going to want to start, because I don't want people to starve. First, I have to employ people, of course. Forgers also sort of act like the beacon before. So there's going to be a scouting thing, and forgers are the people who go out to scout. So steel is less important, so I'm going to start by taking off of steel to put into the gathering post. They will still be gathering from that steel pile, but it means I'll have people in the gathering post gathering wood, as well as the people set on the wood to gather it. So hopefully we'll get all that wood in sooner rather than later. We'll put another gathering post here to get those resources, and I'll take people off of that steel. So this is going to be 2 steam cores. Well, 1 left in that pile. And our forager hut is ready. I'll build the second workshop first, so I have spacing figured out. I don't know why I want them to be next to each other, it just feels better that way. We'll set up the foragers there, and you guys are next going to research the docks or the sawmill. Ultimately, our goal is going to be going down this generator construction tier. So we'll start with the profile manufacturer and various other technologies, and this is what's going to be used to actually build the generator. But we've got to get our industry set up first. And I think I am going to go with docks. You'll see we have a couple of new items up here in the top right. Those are the pieces that are used to build the generator, so we have to actually manufacture them in order to build the generator parts.
Shift's over. Stow your tools.
Alright. Idle hands. As the first workday ends, people start gathering in small groups to chat and play cards. A couple of workers are throwing rocks down the huge central shaft. Deep, ain't it? And to think we have to work down there. Out of boredom, or maybe to exercise their fears, the more workers join in. Soon, rocks start raining down the hole. This might be dangerous, but the camp offers very little other entertainment. We can let them be, or we can stop them raising discontent. I'll let them be. I don't think it hurts anything, and there's nothing else for them to do, and I don't want to raise discontent. Alright, we can put some engineers there. I want to build a medical post, and that'll staff the last of our and let's find 15 people that I can use to send out. You guys will do fine. Oh, I need 20 wood still, which we don't have. Ugh. Well, that didn't work out in my favor. Well, we'll set up this gathering post, so in the morning they'll work on that. And I guess while we wait for that 20 wood, we'll just leave them there to gather wood. Meanwhile, nighttime, they're all homeless still. I could undo the clinic. It's a good call. Normally I have it up because while they're homeless, we're probably going to get some sick tonight. But you are correct that I could have had people out scouting through the night to get us a little further ahead, which has value. Yeah. So we'll send out those 15 workers, and there's only one place for us to go right now, which is the reindeer tracks. So I'll send them over there. They'll get there in 12 hours. People got a cold. Sir, a few of our people have got cold from sleeping on the ground. We should provide them with some kind of accommodations, if only because this might impact our efficiency in the long run. So I think for now I'm going to say provide some shelter, because every time I provide some shelter, they're going to come back later and say, can you give us some more? And each time will give me a minor motivation boost. Sort of gaming the system, but I promise to shelter 45 people or 5 houses. Oh, and I forgot to sign the law. I should start with that. Our laws are also different. So we're no longer in the adaptation tree, it's administration. And so we start with things like the chapel right away. Food-wise, we don't have soup versus sawdust meals. It's gruel versus hearty meals. Hearty meals are going to increase motivation every day, but it costs a lot of food. Things like that. Nope, come back, you. I don't know. Chapel and then evening services is good for getting motivation up, but I don't think we have the resources at the moment, because I have to build a building to do that. Probably radical treatment or sustain life. Radical treatment is what we're used to, where they can cure gravely ill, but it amputates people occasionally. Sustain life means that the gravely ill just hog up beds in our healing posts, medical posts. But yeah, we'll go sustain life. I'm gonna try and be a good guy in this scenario. We'll see how that plays out. And one thing for you viewers, this scenario is going to have some tension rising between the classes of the engineers versus the laborers, the workers. And we're going to have to pick a side. Unlike in the refugees, where you could just tell them to get along and they just did. In this scenario, we're not going to have that option. So I want you to consider who you would rather us side with when the time comes. Alright, we've got our docks. Can I move directly on here? No. I guess while I wait, I'll grab... Can I build a dock and then still research? Because I want the docks. Does that still leave me enough wood? It doesn't. Good thing I built the dock first. Okay. Now we wait. We'll grab... I don't think I'm going to need... At least I'm hoping I don't need the sawmill. So we'll go straight to profile manufacture, which we need. Or faster gathering, which can still help us. We'll go there. We don't need to start on the generator right away. Okay, and our scouts, or hunters, I guess, have reached the reindeer tracks. I can talk. A partially eaten reindeer carcass lies in a circle of trampled, blood-stained earth. The tracks lead farther. Then we will move on. We can either go to the nesting place or the hunting grounds. I'm gonna guess the hunting grounds is a good place to hunt. Reindeer tracks lead towards a wide stream, glinting in the sun. Okay. And we have cleared out the steam cores. We got those 15 people back. We'll put them here on gathering wood. And yeah, that should start bringing in wood. It's going to just be dumping piles of wood, so we'll have to have other people grab the piles. But it's a good start. Basic facilities, telegraph station. Now that we have built the basic resource infrastructure, we can set about bringing more people and steam cores from England. To do this, we have to build the telegraph station. I see. So that is an additional thing to build. It's only 20 wood and 25 steel. It's a good thing to get as early as possible, because that is how we get more people. We're not going to find a ton of people out in the Frostlands that aren't Frostlands.
The shift's over. Time to grab a bite.
Alright, telegraph station is up. News from London. The line is open. Good work on setting up the construction camp. Now that we have a line of communication, use it to request resources. We'll provide what we can, but be aware your camp is not the only project we supply. There are 2 other construction sites in your area. Together, these 3 generators will secure shelter for the inhabitants of Liverpool, should the worst happen. Their fate is in your hands. Do not let them down. We shall succeed. So, every hour, our logistical limit is going to go up by 1 point. And so, we can request a certain amount of things. It'll take a day for a ship to drop off whatever we request, and then our logistical limit will slowly refill back up. In the beginning, I think just getting a lot more laborers is going to be the most important thing. We will probably at some point need to get some more steam cores and some engineers. Yeah, the sawmill, I'm hoping I can just entirely skip having to research the sawmill tree, because that's a lot of research to go down. If I can get the docks up and running, they can provide enough wood that I won't need extra people on sawmills. That's the hope. It might not work out. So we have 16 wood now here. I can start off by getting people to just gather from that pile. Now, let's use our people working on these piles first. That can just build up for a bit. And we can sign a new law. Overcrowding is always a fan favorite. Yeah, makes our medical facilities go a bit farther. So I like to go that route. Makes people a little unhappy. And I should probably think about building the cookhouse soon, because we have 150 raw food that we need to cook up into rations. Alright, so the hunting grounds. The gentle banks of a swiftly flowing stream form a convenient watering place. We could set up a camp here for some time to hunt animals coming for water. I see. So if we set up the camp here, then our hunters are going to be stuck here gathering us food for the next 5 days. But they will bring in 80 food per day, so a total of 400 raw food over the next 5 days, which is good. We have no other source of food. And let's keep time moving. Reality check. As the camp wakes up under the dark rain clouds, the mood among the people turns gloomy. Nobody told us we'd be sent to the end of nowhere, they grumble. There's nothing to do here but work. And they are going to stay a while in this remote, cold, miserable place. If you don't keep their motivation up, the efficiency will suffer. Motivation will fall each morning. We can't do anything at the moment, so we'll just let the motivation start falling every morning.
Rise and
We still have 19 hours to provide shelter, but that's another thing we need to focus on. I guess I will go sawmill. Because we need more wood. Currently, everyone is still gathering, so it's not that big of an issue. I wouldn't have pulled them off of the gathering posts anyway. You are now done with that. So we'll put you guys to helping out getting wood from here. And there. So basic facilities are now covered. So we get our next quest. Generator shaft structure. Now that you have the basic infrastructure, it's time to start with the construction of the generator. Build a profiles manufacturer, then place 8 structural profiles. That will allow you to set up the shaft structure. Okay. So at this point, we are... I mean, technically we already were on the clock, but now we can see the clock that we're on. Which means by day 16, we have to have the shaft set up. Otherwise, we get chewed out, and if we fail a couple of deadlines, then we get sent home. And it's a game over. So by day 16, the shaft has to be ready. Hopefully we can get ahead of that, so we're ahead of schedule. It says right now we are 6 days ahead of schedule, but that will drop quickly if we aren't making active progress on the shaft. We've got 6 hours more until we get our new pack of laborers. We do have enough to get up to drawing board, so tech level 1. We'll start there. And I need to set up homes before I get chewed out for breaking promises, because that is a good way to end a run. And we're out of wood. Worst case, I'll have to tear down the clinic again, which I would not be thrilled about. Book of Laws. I think at this point I will choose the chapel. We've got wood coming in, and motivation will help us.
Listen, everybody. New regulations.
Let's see, work time is almost over.
Shifts over.
Work time is now over. Do we have enough wood to connect? We do. Huzzah. So they have 9 hours to build all their homes. Get to it. Transport arrived with 22 more people. Come on, one more house. There we go. I fulfilled my promise. Everyone needs a roof, if only a flapping one over their head. Your people look forward to a well-deserved rest. And so our motivation bumped up a little bit for keeping that promise. We've got a ton of unemployed people now. We'll get them working on that wood, as well as building another dock if we can. Probably not. Guess you guys can go there, just as a thing to do. And people are now all hungry. So the food cooking, what is it called? Brain's not working. Cookhouse. That's the word. Cookhouse is going to be our next priority.
Shifts on.
So let's see. A skeptic. You overhear 2 workers arguing over the reality of the global cooling. You really believe this end of the world rubbish? Me, I'm just here for the money. When we're done with this mad scheme, I can move my family to St. Giles. Well, you're a fool, because you'll all die when the frost comes. He turns to you. Ain't that the truth, sir? We can mind your words, lad. Discontent will fall slightly. So the science says. Motivation will rise slightly. Or only fools doubt it. Discontent will rise and motivation will rise. We'll have motivation rise without a discontent penalty. So the science says. Alright, we've got our drawing boards, which means I should be still researching. Reloading stations are going to be key. Obviously can't get them yet. Fishing harbors will be nice for an additional food source. I'll have them work on the profiles manufacturer just so they're doing something. And come on, give me food. We'll sign the evening service so that once we have our chapel built, that will be set up. Evening service is a good motivation boost. I guess I should be reading off the text as I grab them because they are different laws than before. Boudoir photography. Sir, supply ships bring post to the crew from time to time. For security reasons, all letters are opened and read, but we must sometimes ask you for instruction. In this case, one of our people received a passionate letter from a lady friend, together with a highly suggestive photograph. Are we to allow this shameless debauchery? We can confiscate the picture, and discontent will rise slightly, or leave the picture. I'm going to try not to censor our people's mail. I don't want to be that kind of person. So we'll leave the picture, though it could cause problems later. I can build the cookhouse. That's what we need, because starvation is gonna be really bad. And yes, we have lots of people who aren't working, so I guess a sawmill would have been the right thing to do. So let's toss one in, I don't know, back here. No wood. Build that road. And our scouts have made it back here. Why aren't you at the hunting grounds? Oh, they're waiting because they're trying to drop off the raw food. Those are our gathering hunter people, and they just can't drop off their raw food because we're capped. That's not awesome. Alright. Reloading station. Need 20 wood. I can do the sawmill upgrade, because it's only steel. Sure, and we're gonna have some sawmills going. Get 5 people onto there right away to start cooking up meals. And we were able to drop off our food. No roof over our heads. I'll provide some shelter. Okay. Get people working there. Let's build another sawmill. Maybe like back here somewhere. Can I connect it? No, of course we're out of wood. We didn't get to make that many meals, so we've got hungry people. But that should be taken care of tomorrow. I'll staff 10 people in here, even though it's not connected by a road yet. So they'll be good to go in the morning. And meanwhile, this is unable to work because it has reached its storage limit of this pile. So we need to get this wood coming out of the pile faster. Gathering post would be the fastest way to do that. Currently. If we can research the reloading stations, those are a lot faster than gathering posts and use a lot less people. But that's still a ways away. Come on, get us some wood. There we go. Day starting, wood is coming in. Not quite enough. Let's go just a little bit farther. There we go. Get people started on getting more wood in. The sawmill is going. Dock is going. We almost have... There we go. A new research. We're going to go with the reloading station. Each reloading station is going to take a steam core. So that's where steam cores are going to become necessary. And meanwhile, I can put in another order. So we'll say we want 2 more steam cores and some more people. And we'll order that to come in 24 hours. Releasing tensions. Sir, 2 of our people got into a fist fight, apparently over the lewd picture that came by mail earlier. Nothing too serious, although one of them got a sprained wrist. The original recipient of the picture is clamoring to get it back, while the other man insists that he won it fair and square in a game of whist. As it is difficult to tell where the truth lies, people seem to expect you to settle it. We can punish them both, discontent will rise, confiscate the picture, motivation will fall slightly, or don't get involved. Discontent will rise and motivation will fall slightly. I don't want to lower motivation. It's already getting into the dangerous levels where we might start working at minus 30% efficiency. So I will take the discontent hit and punish them both. We still need to provide some shelter and provide a chapel. That should get easier now that we're actually getting reasonable amounts of wood coming in. We'll set up a second dock, as that has been the goal, and then build a couple of houses. We need 3 more houses. I don't really want to destroy resources, but let's try the chapel, see where that can be built to hit all of these houses. Yeah, so we'll go there with a chapel and then see what the range is to get the houses in it. There. No, I'm gonna need those roads. Okay, so we'll connect the chapel up there and then connect the houses there once we get a bit more wood. And that will meet our promises on the chapel and the shelter. We're getting a good amount of food coming in, which is great. Shelter promise has been fulfilled. Good. We'll assign 10 people here, and that'll be for steel. We've almost got our reloading station researched. And a new tech. Public house is great for keeping discontent down. Hearty meals, I don't think I have the food economy up quite good enough yet for hearty meals. Although I could occasionally give them a hearty meal when we are good on food, just to slightly boost their motivation. Don't know. Public house costs 20 wood and 10 steel, and then has to have at least one worker. I think I can handle that at the moment. So, there we go. We'll give them a pub, and that'll keep our discontent down. There we go. Motivation rises slightly from meeting that promise. We still have 21 unemployed. I was thinking I could build a gathering post, but I really don't need to build a gathering post just for this if I'm going to get the reloading station in a matter of hours. There we go. Reloading station has to happen. That's holding us back. We'll build one for each of those docks, and I think now we need to get moving forward on the generator. We don't need protective structures yet, I'm thinking. Fishing harbors would allow us to get more food in, so then I can consider the hearty meals. Actually, we can't get anything because we're too low on wood. But that is a problem that will be resolved really soon. Or I could go down. It's too far away. Making our foragers move faster would be good. I think I'm going to go with the fishing harbor. But at some point I'll probably need to build resource depots to store more food. Or I could minimize the number of people working. Not that I have better use of them. So now we are pulling up 14 wood an hour. Here, 2 steel an hour. Once that one gets fully staffed, then that'll be better. But yeah, we should now have reasonable amounts of wood and steel coming in. So let's get started on the generator. So we need the profiles manufacturer. And then we're going to need those 8 structural profiles to build the shaft structure. We can get people started there right away. We're only 3 days ahead of schedule now. Let's see. Medical posts. How is our sick doing? Not bad at all. So I don't need to rush to that. Making our foragers move faster will be good, but I don't know if that's critical at the moment. Nothing's really critical at the moment. We've got what we need. But I want to get ahead on things. So I guess we will grab the protective structures because we will need that at some point. We'll put our 20 spare people here. These are manufactured from 25 wood each. So we'll just put a bunch of wood into that and tell them to start crafting these profiles. Shift is over, but we get a new law. Bare knuckle bouts will further lower discontent every night. So we'll go that route. So, not sure how much steel is getting per hour. Oh, that's another thing I should be looking into. We're gonna need coal at some point. And we've got these two giant piles of 2,000 coal each down here. So I'm gonna just have some people down here slowly gathering coal so that we're ready when the time comes. No roof over our heads. Yeah, we're at the point where we only have 25 people, so it's 3 more tents. I'll provide shelter for everyone. I don't need to keep dragging that out. And the shelter for everyone will be a bigger hope boost. Oh, sawmill's there. Okay. Shelter promise is fulfilled. Motivational rise. And we'll send our 7 remaining people over there to gather some coal. And a random 10 new homeless. Alright, we have used up this hunting ground. So now we can move on to either the small waterfall or back to the nesting place, I guess. I don't know which one would be better than the other, so we'll just move forward. And we need another tent for some reason. Maybe we got in another shipment or something.
Rise and shine. We've got work to do.
Safety concerns. Work safety. Sir, a few of our people fell ill from breathing the strange fumes wafting from the shaft. It could have been worse. One of them passed out and fell from a scaffold. We can't ignore health hazards any longer. From now on, the safety level of every workplace at the construction site will be monitored. If it's low, people working there will get sick. If it's very low, they might get injured or die. I'll improve safety. So I have to pass one of these new laws in the labor tree now for safety. That's either safety procedures or short shift. We also have this extended shift or 2 shift option, which I'm going to use far too much. So extended shifts we saw in the previous versions or the scenarios where we increased the working day from 10 hours to 14 hours, and it was great, and I used it a ton. 2 shifts is what I always wanted the 24-hour shift to be, where it's a 24-hour shift, but you're doubling the workers to work that 24 hours, and we can eventually get shift work coordination, which reduces the amount of manpower. But it always annoyed me when I had 200 people standing around twiddling their thumbs doing nothing, while people were dying trying to work 24-hour shifts. And I'm like, can't you just shift people out? Have 2 shifts going in a day? So 2 shifts will do that, and I'm going to be using that heavily. But first, we got to get a safe law so that people get happy. Camp life. An indignant engineer. An engineer complains to you, "Sir, it seems I've been mistakenly lodged in a tent full of workers. Now you see, I don't have anything against workers, but they're loud and, well, they sort of smell. Can you make sure that I get moved to an engineer's tent?" certainly discontent will rise, or no, we have to make do, and motivation will fall slightly. Well, certainly. We can get some more discontent. Our discontent is fantastic at the moment. Where are we at? You guys keep making these profiles. We've already got 4, so that'll be the 8 that we need. And we've researched our protected structures. Can I get... No! Hold on. Let's pull some of this wood back off. So you can just sort of bank wood in the profile manufacturer and then pull it off if your storage is an issue. So now we've got that wood back, so let's research drafting machines. And then I can tell them to build those couple more now. A troubled father, a letter from home. Sir, a worker received a letter from his wife informing him that one of his daughters is gravely ill. Dire news such as this may impact the morale of the crew. Should we redact the part about the sick daughter? I'm not going to censor a letter. I can censor it, discontent will rise, or motivation will fall slightly, but I'm not a monster. If I was playing on a harder difficulty, I'd have to start making those more monstrous choices. Actually, let's... So, I always forget to push this button. Evening service, it's a 2-day cooldown, costs 20 rations, and raises motivation. I need to be pushing that every chance I get to just keep motivation going up, but I always forget. This is actually still overstaffed because it was getting 16 wood per hour. They're only pulling off 14 wood an hour. So we'll go down there so that we stop overfilling. This is going to be the same rate. So 5 wood an hour that they're pulling off and dropping off 9. So we'll put them down there. And I can move more people elsewhere because there's no point in people just standing around. Actually, you can actually build up a stockpile. So we'll go there. I'll have 3 more people. I guess for now we'll stick them in the pub. I don't know. And let's get a resource depot to get a bit more food storage. We did get the fishing harbor researched, so I could put some people on that, but food is clearly not currently our issue. Although I could have our foragers move on to just scouting and have our fishermen getting the food. Alright, we have our 8 structural profiles. I'm going to build 6 extras so that if I need to do a safety protective structure, I can when working on the shaft, because the shaft is far more dangerous than working on those outside areas. Small waterfall. There are fish jumping in the waterfall. Not many, but enough for a meal for the team. Perhaps we'll find more upstream. Alright, let's move on. Rusting rails or the rapids? I guess we'll move on to the rapids. We have... I did not build the fishing dock. I had thought about it, clearly.
Quitting time. Take a breather.
We'll get 6 of those built when we have time. And you are going to be for more rations. More brawling is happening, so our discontent is continuing to fall. And overall, things are going well. We're 5 days ahead of schedule because we have all of the profiles we need. I might as well set that down because it doesn't take people's times to build it in place. We put it here. It'll now take 50 workers to start building that. I don't have to put 50 on it, but 50 is what's needed to get 100% efficiency. So less will be slower. This has a safety rating of -3. So it's just naturally very unsafe to work on, as opposed to this, which is a base safety level of -1. So if people are working here right now, it'll be considered dangerous and high risk of falling ill, risks of accidents. So I can sign one of these labor laws, and I need to. Probably safety procedures. That allows me to turn on safety procedures, which Lowers efficiency by 25%, but raises the workplace safety, which is good. I will start with this because short shift is, if we go back, short shift is only working 8 hours a day, and who wants our people working only 8 hours? That's craziness. But it will raise the workplace safety by 1. It doesn't have a effect on work speed, but given that there's less hours, less work will be done. But it does raise motivation slightly. So we'll start with safety procedures anyway, which I'll probably have to turn on when we actually start working on the shaft structure. Alright, they reached the rapids. We'll head up to the mountain lake. The stream has its source in the mountains rising on the horizon. Let's head over there. And I should order some more stuff. We'll say 2 more cores and a bunch more people. 10 more. Can always use more cores and more people. Although I guess at the moment, I'm not using the cores, so maybe getting more people would be better. Optimize material. It would have been nice to wait for this, but we don't want to fall that far behind. This causes the profiles to use 20% more material and be made faster. So then they would only cost 20 wood rather than 25. Not critically important. Upgraded docks. Can't get this. We're still a ways away on wood and steel. I want to just keep getting our resources coming in. Medical post so that I can work towards infirmary would also be nice. Then I don't have to care about sick at all, really. I guess I'm going to go for this. This I will want because we're going to be making a lot of these profiles just for turning on the safety structures. And so having them be cheaper in the future is always good. Can I do... Nope. Can't do another sermon. Distraught father. Sir, the distraught father of the sick child wants to talk to you. He begs you to let him go home. I know it means giving up this here job, but I'll figure something out. The family needs me, sir. Please, let me go back to him. Keep working. Doctors cost money. Discontent will rise. Or we lose a worker. I don't want to be a monster. So fine, you can go home. I can easily burn away the discontent. Like, my discontent is currently 0, and we're losing plenty every day. So this is the smarter choice, but I'm a nice guy. So yeah, you can go home. Alright, we have optimized materials. We've gotten those extra 6 that we needed for safety structures. So I'm going to start pulling people off of other things to make this the most efficient it can be. I want to keep it in at least the unsafe level. Actually, work time's over. We will run this tomorrow at the start of the workday. That'll be a much better use of our time. In the meantime, I have tons of wood, but still not enough steel. What do I want to do? Upgraded docks? I'll want that at some point for sure. And let's build a resource depot for our wood. And you guys, I guess, while the day is going... Oh, there we go. So I'm going to put them on there for tomorrow. I will take off all of the people from our wood production for tomorrow. These people working coal are not critical. They can go there. And I put some extra people into the pub. They can go there. So tomorrow we'll have 50 people working on this, where I can set it up to be safe, and they can just plow along on it all day long. Alright, Mountain Lake. The stream starts here from a crystal clear mountain lake. Even from the shore we can see shoals of fish roaming the lake. We could stay here for a few days and catch them. Alright, let's set up a camp and get some more food coming in. And you'll be for wood production, so we have more space for that. And a new law. So we're gonna head down the 2-shift route, because that's what I actually want. So I then could set these people to be working 24 hours. This does improve the safety level for 24 hours, so I probably should have people working that whole time. It'll make people upset, but gotta do what you gotta do. And if I'm wasting the profiles to make it safe, I should get as much out of it as I can. We'll wait until normal start time. Transport has arrived with 10 more people. Brilliant. So work time has started. People are heading over here to begin working. We will make it unhealthy, but I'm happy with that safety rating. Set it to 24 hours, add on the additional 10 people. Is there any other industries I can remove? Yeah. Sawmills. You're not important. You can go there. I need to get more steel in, so I don't want to take people off of that. Cookhouse. You're 2 more people that I could send here. We have plenty of raw food. Engineers, of course, won't work on the manual labor, so I can't use them. But let's see how much progress we can make on getting this done in this one day of having the structures. Yeah. Got another research. Let's see. Still don't have quite enough steel. We will... Sure, make our medical post better. Next time we will have enough steel that I can research the next level of tech. Toxic gases. Sir, we have a situation. We've detected dangerous concentrations of toxic gases across the whole construction site. Breathing them will make people sick, but we'll keep them working. We have no choice. The gases are venting from the depths of the source, and their toxicity level changes constantly. We will monitor it and warn you about any changes 24 hours in advance. I see. So now we can see our toxic gas levels. We're currently at low, and it's predicted to rise tomorrow, but that has dropped us down into harmful working conditions. And I have no means to combat the harmful working conditions currently. So keep working, guys. Shift work coordination. This is going to drop the requirements for 2 shifts by 25%. So it'll cause more discontent, and discontent will rise slightly just by signing it. But it means that here, where it was 50 people for a normal length shift, 100 people for a double length shift, now it's 75 people for a double length shift. So I can put people on other things. And we'll have them just collecting wood. Let's build another tent. Yeah, and these people just keep plugging along. So one of the things I can research, and at this point need to, under generator construction, we have this ventilation plant, which we can build. It costs a steam core, but then and 25 coal per hour, but that will lower the hazard of the toxic gases by 1 level. So you guys keep going, and there we go. It's now reached dangerous because we no longer have those structures, so I'm going to pull people out. That was good progress. We're 5 days ahead of schedule, but I need to have people working on other things when the hazard levels are up. So when I can do another protective structure, then that'll be a good time to send them back down, as well as if I can get the ventilation system working, which means I need coal. Let's get a couple of guys working there and get our wood working correctly again. I still have 34 more people. So sawmill, sawmill. I don't know. Are there stream issues? It's showing 0% drop frames, so I would assume I'm not having any streaming issues. Unless you're seeing problems. Oh, it is showing a network issue. Let's reload on my end. OBS is saying everything's fine, but as we've seen, OBS doesn't know anything. Twitch is saying it's an unstable connection. How's it looking on your end? Pseudonym. I guess I'll build that fishing dock now. That'll give something that people can do, and then maybe I can pull people, our scouts, off of scouting. Okay, you guys need to research. So I need ventilation plants, clearly. So we will head that route. I was hoping to get started on the better tech level, but I need to be able to work when I want to work. I guess you guys can make some more of these while we're just taking time. It's a thing to do. So I've got the shift work coordination, which is critical. After hours maintenance requires our people to maintain their gear. After finishing the shift, workers will spend some time cleaning and maintaining their equipment to keep it in safe operating conditions. Discontent will rise permanently, which sucks, but accident risk will be reduced at all workplaces, which is great. So let's sign that. One thing I should have done and forgot to is put all of you guys on 24-hour shifts. So let's grab some of these workers that aren't doing anything. Hello? Workers who aren't doing anything? There we go. Max you out so I can throw a few more onto there. Put you 24 hours, max it out. Maybe pull one off of there to put onto here. And possibly turn off that sawmill to get a few more working here, and turn you on to 24 hours as well. There. That's probably good for getting more resources coming in, having them work 24-hour shifts. Last 5, you can go back there. I don't know. A taste of home. Sir, although many people back home are facing starvation, a well-off relative of one of our engineers sent him a large parcel full of treats. Should we hold on to the food? It may stir trouble or, God forbid, fuel a parallel economy. Give the man his parcel. I can confiscate it, getting us 50 rations, and discontent will rise. We don't need the rations, so give him his food. Come on. Oh, and you guys. I want one of you working a 24-hour shift. The remaining can just work there, plugging along. Actually, it's still more efficient if you're on a 24-hour shift, even if you don't have enough people. And it might be nice to order some more engineers. So, we need 6 more engineers. And some more workers. So I can have my research going 24 hours. Which is fantastic. Alright, now I can do the next tech level. which is super good. We've got resources coming in 24 hours a day. You guys aren't needed there anymore, so move on to other things. Like getting us food 24 hours a day. Yeah, these 24-hour shifts are critical, and they're going to be crucial to keeping us ahead of schedule. Alright, we've got our mechanical calculators researched. I can get safety improvements in the profile manufacturer. Optimized protection means that when I use this, the protective structures, it only costs 4 structures. I'm gonna go, I think, with efficient fans to make our coal usage better, because we don't have a ton of that. And then maybe even ventilation plant coupling, so I can have 2 fans running at the same time. Is there anything else that I need to get going on? Steam reloading would also be very good to get, again, the economy going quick. We'll start with that. That gets even more resources coming in, which I want. As it is, we got the ventilation plant, which I've got the cores, I just need the steel. But we've got steel coming in all night long now, which is great. 4.5 or 4.2 per hour. They're dropping off 6.4 per hour. So I don't have the ratios quite perfect yet. Where are you all at? You are in treatment. Oh, I didn't realize our medical situation was that bad. I should get the infirmary as well. Which means I'd need even more engineers. Ugh. It never ends. I heard a boom. There we go. I don't want the short shift yet. I will likely have to get it eventually. Hearty meals. Let's try boosting our motivation up. Speaking of, can I... Yep, I can do another sermon. Alright, we got our better reloading. Do I want to go for infirmary first? Yes. We need to get our sick situation sorted out. And infirmaries are far more efficient than... Wow, that flashing doesn't look good. There we go. Infirmaries are far better than medical posts. Camp life, bad omen. This morning, the camp is strangely quiet. People pass the bad news in hushed voices. An owl is perched atop the scaffolding, despite it being broad daylight. I got a sneeze coming. Ugh, sneeze. Sorry about that. An owl is perched atop the scaffolding, despite it being broad daylight. They were superstitious even in the best of times, but here, in this remote, harsh place, they see it as a worst omen, worse than a herd of black cats. The construction site workers refuse to return to work while the bloody bird sits there. They also say that to shoo it away would bring even worse luck. What shall we do? We can wait for 4 hours, or we can shoo it away. Currently, no one is working in our construction site, so I'm fine with just letting us wait 4 hours to do nothing. And transport arrived. We've got our more engineers and our more workers. So we'll send the engineers straight to research. And our workers to the... Oh, we are out of wood within range of that sawmill. So stop that. Get... Okay. I guess I could build even more of the structural profiles. No real harm in that. Oh, except for the deadly gases they're breathing in. That's some harm. No, don't deconstruct. I wanted you to just pull those people off and stop building those. What do I want to build? I need a ventilation plant. Hopefully spaced reasonably. Hey, I think I have the roads in roughly the right spot. Whatever. We'll build a ventilation plant there. Hopefully at some point we can get a second one running. And the next time this drops down, which is supposed to be tomorrow, we will go all hands on deck working on this again. And I need housing for 18 more people. Perfect. There. That house is too large because it was built while the woodcutter was there. But I am too lazy to fight with it. Okay. Infirmary has been researched. Now we're getting research in at a quick rate, which is what I like to see. Efficient fans, that will be important. You guys are waiting to drop off food and you can't because we've run out of space again. So, here. Make all of that raw food into rations so these people can keep going. There we go. They're a little annoyed by that, and that's fine. I'll be turning them back down to normal shifts soon enough. Infirmary would be a good thing to get. Yeah. We'll build the infirmary. We'll take out the medical post soon enough. I did also get our steam reloading, 40 wood and 25 steel. So once we get up to that 25 steel, in a moment, there we go, we will then get our steel production even better. There we go. You should be off because currently no one is working there, and I don't want to just be burning coal for no reason. And we do have people working here. Good. I'm going to build a second gathering post right here so that I can get more coal brought in when I have tons of excess people that aren't doing anything. You can't do anything because I just used the last of our steel, which I should have thought about, but clearly did not. I'm pretty sure everything is going to take steel. At least some. Yeah. Alright, we gotta wait till we get at least 10 steel. Which has to wait for that to be built. Again, I don't want any of this labor yet. So, yeah, good ways to boost motivation. We can give our people cocaine pills with a minor risk of death. House of Pleasure, which boosts motivation, but causes sickness. Reparation of bodies makes it so if people die, they're happier. I don't think we need to work on that right away. Care home makes people happy. Let's see. Motivation rises slightly from signing it? Sure. You can have a care home. It's just wood, if I recall. And 5 steel. Whatever, we'll get that steel in eventually. Get building, people. There we go. So, once this gets fully staffed, eventually. Going to eat? Come on. We need steel. Alright, here's a slight hack. Where I just turn off the cookhouse. And then all these people should, hopefully, yeah, get to work. So, we are now getting 8 per hour. They're dropping off 5.6. So we want to increase our laborers until we get to 8. But a bunch of them are going to eat or eating. Come on, you slackers. Whatever, it's probably somewhere around that. We did have this fall, so that means I can turn on this, which will drop this from -4 + 1, so -3, that'll drop us to -2. This will bring us to -1, which I'm okay with. So let's grab all hands on deck. There. We don't need wood at the moment, so grab all of you guys. Send you there. We don't need you guys, and you can stop working 24 hours, so you can go there. Food isn't critical at the exact moment, so you guys. I want to keep our steel going. You engineers get out of there and go into there. That's not related, but it just has to happen. Sawmill, not important. You guys can head over there. Where else do I have workers? Coal. I think we have enough banked up that we can make it through a day. How much coal are we going to burn if this is also on a 24-hour shift to keep things safe for our people? So we are going to burn 500 a day. Goody. Goody. And we have 400. So no, you guys are actually going to be important. Where can I guess it's got to be from the steel. Do we have a lot here? 170. That'll last a while. So we need 4 more people. There we go. That'll be our full 75 people working a 24-hour shift in unhealthy conditions, which is good enough for me. Boom. All right. Workers trapped. Sir, an explosion in the generator's foundations caused a tunnel to collapse, trapping several workers. Fortunately, we have a rescue team on hand. Thanks to our dedication to safety, a group of workers has been training for just such an emergency. Some of these events that pop up require you to be unhealthy or above, so unhealthy or safe. Some of them require you to actually be at safe. If I wasn't at that level when this event fired, then we would have to either keep working, causing lots of problems, or in this case, all of those 75 workers would die, or blow up the cave-in, which sets us back 40% on the construction. But because we were unhealthy, then we have a rescue team available that we can send them in and get our team out safely, and we don't set back our progress. Discontent, though, massively rises. Construction site strike. Sir, people at the construction site stopped working. A worker climbs on an overturned wheelbarrow and speaks to his fellows. We saved our friends, sure, this time. But as long as the deadline is more important than us, such catastrophes will keep happening. How many of us won't make it home in one piece? We need to do something. The construction site is on strike. So let's negotiate. Workers are on strike. Workers are angry and refuse to work. They are shout about exploitation, terrible working conditions, and deadly dangers they face daily. What will you promise them? I can promise them a bathhouse. The rest of the day off, try to appease them with extra rations, or I need to think about it. Bathhouse is a terrible use of coal, so I don't want to give them that, but I can open one up temporarily to make them happy. Because I do like the laws that follow after it. Rest of the day off I'm not doing because of the 24-hour shift. I'm not going to waste that. Extra rations. 75 rations, I can handle that, but I'll just promise to sign a bathhouse, and they will get back to work. Now here comes the question, and I'll pose this to the viewers. Who should we lean on? The first strike is over, but it won't be the last. We need to address the labor issues if we are to finish the generator on schedule. Workers would like to be given a voice and be involved in decisions, while engineers promise you results if you rely on their proven expertise. Will you empower the workers and establish a labor union, or strengthen the engineer's role and build a factory inspectorate? You will have to build the factory inspectorate. New laws will favor engineers, or you will have to build a labor union. New labor laws will favor workers. So, viewers, what do you want to see? Do we side with the engineers and make a inspectorate that keeps the... You would side with the labor? Well, no one else is chatting in chat, so I'll give a couple more seconds to see if anyone else wants to voice in. If not, we will side with the laborers. It also amuses me that you're, I would side with the labor. Like, it pains you to choose that. But looks like no one else is voicing up, so we will go with the laborers. A labor union. So we've signed this law. Unfortunately, that gives us a 2-day cooldown before we can sign the bathhouse that we also promised, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, now we'll have to build the labor union, which allows us to use this food for workers, which will lower strike risk in all workplaces for 24 hours at the cost of 100 rations. But if we can get our food situation sorted out, that won't be much of an issue. Every use will lower the strike risk by 2 in all locations, and the labor union, which will decrease strike risk in all workplaces. So the laborers, their focus is on reducing strikes and keeping motivation high, versus if you go the engineer route, their focus is just on maintaining efficiency. So building their watchtowers around the buildings and whatnot increases efficiency, though motivation will continue to tank. I think labor unions is actually the stronger of the choices, but it does go in, I mean, they both go in questionable decisions. Like all Frostpunk, when you get to the higher ends of their main choice tracks, you get into strongly questionable locations. So we have now promised that we are going to build the labor union. In the meantime, what do we want to get next? We got the infirmary, good. We could get a second vent running, or optimize the protection so it doesn't keep costing as many structures every time I want to raise the safety rating. We'll go there. And you guys should still be working, yeah, 6 hours until this is done. And they're working 24 hours, so it's not quitting time for you. Get back to work. Yeah, keep plugging along. Almost there. Milestone achieved. Before laying the foundations, which will support the massive bulk of the generator, you will have to send your workers deep below the ground level and install the powerful tower pumps there. Okay. So we can actually look at what the whole schedule is. We've finished step 1. We're now on step 2, which is building the foundations. So we have to build a pressure valve, which costs 10 of these structural profiles. We've already got 5 built. And then we have to build 10 steam exchangers, which we don't even have the technology to build them yet, though we could easily research it. Those cost a lot of steel. And then we'll have to install both of those. And we have to get that done by day 25. We are currently sitting on day 13. So we are showing as 4 days ahead of schedule. And we now have 75 people to put elsewhere. We can turn you off. I will need to get 5 more of those built, minimum. And let's get everything else turned back on that we turned off to get this going. So you're picking up at 8. There we go. Get a bit of a surplus. We'll assume you're going to be roughly around 13 as well. We've got 1 gathering post still going. That's probably fine. Is there any other building I need? I need some people in the cookhouse. Obviously. Let's pull a couple of you off, put you in the cookhouse to keep food going. We are making hearty meals, so that's good. What is our stockpile of food? We still have 82 standard meals, and then people will move on to all of our hearty meals, which will be great. And we are gaining food every day. Coal is going up because we turned off the vent. Yeah, things are looking up. We finished that. So the machine shop is what we need to build that next part. So I guess we will research it right away. News from London. Abandoned site. Congratulations on completing your first milestone on schedule. Meanwhile, after funding cuts and catastrophic accidents at Site 107, the project was scrapped and remaining workers scheduled for evacuation. If you can spare the men, order foragers to search these coordinates and recover whatever materials you can. We will have far from enough generators to evacuate everyone should the unthinkable happen. Your task is now even more important. So gathering posts don't work if there's a reloading station on site. So if I upgrade the docks to have a second pile being made, I could put gathering posts there, but I'd rather just fit out more of the reloading stations because they are far more efficient. Like, I don't know the numbers of how numerically coal stacks up to. Yeah, it's hard to see how inefficient gathering posts are, unless it gives us numbers, which it might. Gathering posts, nope. Yeah, it doesn't tell us how quickly they gather. But the reloading stations are far more efficient for gathering out of these piles. I need to build the labor union. It's kind of a wasted building, but I have to do it. So we'll do that just to get them happy. Anything else? I could get the upgraded dock. Yeah, no, I think we're good at the moment. Machine shop. We'll need one of you. And it needs to be connected to the center, so we'll put a little bit of road. There's actually something to be said for getting a upgraded dock just so we can start bringing in more steel. It'll just be piling up on the ground, but it's something. I would like to get down here so that I can get the redesigned template, so before I start building them, they're already at the less material cost. Anything else? Getting our foragers moving quicker would be nice. It's only 8 hours versus here is 10 hours. That's not bad. And 11 hours. Okay, we'll just go down this tier for now. Make the machine shop a little bit safer. Did you guys not build? Oh, I guess must have been nighttime when I told them. Yeah, so safety improvements will automatically bring this up to one more level, which is safer, and I could send people in there if I had people. Yeah, so we've got our labor union. It tells us how many people are working in what conditions. I don't see how that's super important, but it's now a chart here. And I can spend 100 food to reduce the strike risk in different locations, which means if I'm being horrible and people are getting ready to strike, I can potentially reduce that. Engineers have a building that you just click a button and it boosts motivation, which I think is far more useful. Let's get some more people in. Another steam core or two, and more people. And if I can get our research going a bit faster, then at the next tech level, there is a better fishing hut that I'd like to get. Because that roughly doubles the amount of fish coming in. Alright, you guys have built the 10 that we need. This costs 4, so I'm going to have you build an additional 8, just so we can have more safety going on. Letters from home, suspicious minds. Sir, we noticed that one of the engineers is sending a very long letters to Aunt Bertha almost every day. They regard family and religious matters and seem innocuous, but the German-sounding name of this aunt raised our suspicions. We found out that By rearranging certain letters, we can form sentences such as shaft rotor or iron coupler. We also found flu rhino and cacklegran, but this might be code. What should we do about this engineer? Stop being paranoid? Intercept all his letters, or censor the letter? We can't censor the letter. We don't have the terror law signed. Stop being paranoid. Probably. I don't know. Okay, we've got safety improved on our machine shop whenever we get to that. Do we have enough? Yes. Let's get our difference engine tech. I just love how quickly resources are coming in at this point.
Workers, your work is over for today.
I mean, so many people are working on 24-hour shifts that saying their work is over isn't super true. But we'll get you guys off of there and move you onto the machine shop for tomorrow and have you start making these. So this is going to cost 20 steel each, which is a lot. When are we getting 10 more people? All right, let's build the upgraded dock so that we're ready when we get people in to staff it. Advanced fishing harbor. I need more steel and I just turned off my steel production. Why? We'll do forger carts. I guess I turned off the inflow of steel, but these people can still gather from the pile that was sitting here, so it's not actually a problem. Okay, so we've got a second pile being formed here from the people working at that dock. So then I can put another reloading station. Do I need another steam reloader? Like the tier 2? Probably not. I'll be fine with just the regular one. So when these people get dropped off, and they will also need a house, of course. So I'll just get that in place ready for them. There we go. Foragers move faster, good. Now I can get the advanced fishing. Harbingers of doom. People across the whole camp leap to their feet, awakened by the sound of angry screeches. Dozens of huge birds are circling over the construction site. The owls are back, moans the terrified workers. It's a sign. The heavens warn us. We shouldn't be here. We're doomed. After a while, the birds disappear above the bay, leaving our people severely shaken. Motivation will fall even more each morning. Ugh, owls. We still haven't even gotten our motivation up to the top range. Okay. I want steel started. So you guys go there. The new people move over to the gathering post when they get here. All right. Transport arrived. There we go. Get even more coal coming in. And you guys are slowly plugging away on this. And that's fine. I should have gotten the better tech, actually. One man, one vote. Sir, the labor union you agreed to needs representatives, but workers, if left up to their own devices, will probably choose subversive activists to represent them. How shall we proceed? Let them choose. Motivation will rise. Strike risk will rise for 2 days. Or rig the elections. Motivation will just rise. Or let me choose. Discontent will rise. I feel like there's going to be consequences if I rig the elections. Strike risk will rise for 2 days, I think is fine because I'm not currently working anything and I can just pay food for them to not go on strike. So you guys have fun. But also I'd rather have my people leading the voice. Like laborers that I prefer rather than laborers that they prefer. Whatever, I'll let you guys choose. Have fun. I'm sure it'll be fine. So we'll give the laborers a bit more influence. Meanwhile, we can research to make the redesigns so that they'll be cheaper and faster. Probably should have started with that before going on to the fishing, improving our fishing hut. But U10, build that. Now I have to sign the bathhouse law because I promised it. So we will sign it. So the bathhouse, when it's active, it uses 3 coal per hour, and people living within its range are less likely to get sick. But it's this massive building that doesn't have a ton of range. So it's just hard to work with. If I built it intentionally in the center, like the chapel, then yeah, it could have a good range, but I can't have both the chapel and the bathhouse at the center of a group of houses. So I don't know. Let's see, I can reach 6 houses from here, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from here. All right, that'll be where our bathhouse goes, and I'll decide if I want to keep it later. Oh, our motivation got up though, so that's nice. High motivation. So our people are so highly motivated that many of them perform their jobs with enthusiasm. The efficiency in all workplaces rises as a result. Well done. I see. I need to get my scouts back scouting, because there are things they need to find. Can I get some more laborers? Yeah. Alright, you guys. We're almost done with the redesign template. There we go. So you can now build off of the redesign. Supercharge is a cool power. It uses 5 of those steam exchangers that we're now building to instantly progress the work in the core by 10%. And then the advanced supercharges by 20%. So it's a good way of just, even if things are unsafe, I can just toss one person in, supercharge, and then pull that person out. Which I'm sure is not how it's intended to be used, but that's how I would use it. Optimize the gathering is cool. Better resource depots would be good. I kind of want to get down to these large resource depots that I never use, just so I don't have to worry about storage limits ever. But we're not currently super troubled by that. More food would be good, because then I could get our foragers doing other things. Hopefully. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with... Or I could get another vent. If I do that, I'm gonna probably want to go towards charcoal kilns, because we've got plenty of wood coming in, so I can burn some of it and get excessive charcoal and never have to worry about it anymore. How much coal do we have back here still? Still 2,000. I don't need to worry about charcoal kilns yet. And I'm hoping these people are gathering sufficiently fast. Because this was using like 500 for an all-day shift. We're only gathering 300 coal per day. Ugh. I really do want to get the second event so that I have more options of when to have people work and not have to turn on the safety stuff every time, which slows us down. Yeah, we'll do that. We've got a good surplus of coal. And I think I did build... Yeah, I built all the parts I need. so I can put down the pressure valves. And then whenever it's a good day, health-wise, which it's currently not, then I can send people in to start building it. Huge valves built of high-quality steel will direct the flow of water and superheated steam to keep the pressure within the designed limits, protecting the generator against heat surges in the source. So, yeah, I can drop the safety by 2 by turning on both of these, but that would bring us to -2, which is still too dangerous. Turning on that would bring us to -1, which I could do. If this drops down, which it's not, it's rising tomorrow, then maybe I could work on it, but at the moment it's not looking like a great time to get started, but I'm only 3 days ahead of schedule. Oh, and I promised a care home. I need to get on that right away, apparently. Sorry, dudes. Sure, right here by the infirmary seems like a reasonable spot. And I need people to get on that ASAP. You guys. Stop working, build that. Please. Get over here. There we go. You have like an hour. Ah, man. Ah. Killed my motivation, raised discontent because I wasn't paying attention. That sucks. Gotta keep an eye over here, clearly. Alright, you guys go back to work over there. Can I raise motivation? Nope, not yet. Alright, I can put down a second fan. I will get the fishing better. Which is sort of ridiculous because we're maxed out on food. But I'm hoping that whenever our hunters next finish, I can start moving them off of gathering food and just scouting. But I need a resource depot again in the meantime for our raw food. There we go. Oh, you guys are topping out, so... Oh, these guys are inefficient. Why? Going to treatment, in treatment. Why are y'all sick? Discontent raises the global strike risk by 1. That sucks. Okay, so I could do comfortable quarters. That's what I like to do. Discontent will fall permanently and motivation will rise slightly. It's making the tents hold 8 people rather than 10, which means I'd have to build a bunch more tents. Do I want to go that route? Or, what do we have down here? Collective bargaining means that I can negotiate with the representatives of striking workers to end all ongoing strikes for a price. So, if we have lots of people going on strike at the same time, we can click this button to negotiate with all of them, which would be nice, except I don't intend to be working a ton of locations and going on strike all at once. Workers' Council. Working people will take part in the decision-making process through workers' councils. This should give them an alternative to going on strike. After, new labor or new building, Council Square. Worker motivation will rise slightly every day. That's great. Council Squares lower strike risks in nearby workplaces by 1. That's fantastic. Discontent will fall slightly. Also good. I see no negatives. Let's do it. I have to build one of these. Wow, that is a big building, but you are a fine place to build it. Another tech researched, good. Faster carts could be cool. Bigger resource depots. I think I'm gonna want charcoal kilns sooner rather than later. Supercharge, I think, would be fun. Oh, and I should be having people building these now that I got the templates improved. and I've got 20 people sitting around doing nothing. How many do I need for this step? I need 10. Okay. The engineer's plea. Sir, several engineers want to share with you their concerns about the workers' councils and ask for reassurance. We appreciate your efforts to motivate the workers, but giving them too much power would diminish our authority and blur the responsibility. And before you commit to any of their ideas, remember, they know nothing about generator design. I can say, relax, you're still in charge, motivation will fall, or watch out, nobody's indispensable, discontent will rise slightly. Nobody's indispensable. We've already determined the workers are in charge, get with the program. Okay, we've built the workers' council, motivation rises. Let's spend food to make motivation rise. What can I do here? So this is just passively increasing motivation. All right. You guys keep going. It's relatively healthy-ish. And you are maxed out. 15.6 wood coming in. They're only picking up 10. All right, we will drop that down a touch to make some more food. No. And I have more laborers coming in? Aren't I a genius? We will upgrade the dock. Sure. That's a thing to do. And get more coal. Our coal storage is full as well. Resource depot. There.
Quitting time. Workers, leave your tools in order.
Okay, we've got the supercharge ready. Let's get the advanced supercharge. You apparently need a road. Let's just connect a road all the way around. And then you're going to be set to coal. Once that road is built, good. Then those people can keep going. Once this is built, we should be getting another wood pile. Perfect. I can then build a regular reloading station on that to put 10 of the people on. 15 of the people, rather. Okay, we've got brawling going on. Oh, more homeless, always. That is terrible placement. It makes me sad. Okay. Get you guys going. Hopefully you guys are getting close to... Nope, still plenty of coal there. And you guys are continuing to plug along on those. We've got the 10 we need for the next item we need to build. So advanced supercharge has been researched. So sort of a cheaty thing to do is I can toss one person on here. It's super deadly. Say supercharge it, and we're now 20% progress, and then take the guy off. And I can do that every 2 days. So then let's build... we can't build the other thing because we need more of the steam exchangers. But if we've got enough steel coming in to justify that, that is an option. Bigger depots. I am going to go that route. Just so I don't have to keep thinking about having not enough space. Let's... 24 hours. Max you out. Probably means I can put a couple more people on that, and that should even things out a little bit. How our food situation is great. We'll get the really large resource depot. What about you guys? Still going? Keep building a few more. I can put down the tower pump now, which is great. So then I can put one person on it. 24-hour shift. I need a person. You are a person. Tower pumps, go. Oh, I need 5 more steam exchangers. Darn. Trying to game the system. I need to build those steam exchangers first. Oh, and we're on strike. Alright. What do you want? Better working conditions? I have to raise it above dangerous? Shorter shift? Would you take 20 rations? Apparently that's a yes. Alternative design. A construction site worker came up with an ingenious redesign of joints used in scaffolding and formwork. It's a minor and apparently safe change which should significantly advance work. Will you order its adoption? No, which will cause discontent to rise and strike risk to rise. Or, of course, and construction will advance by 10%. Sure, I trust you. Where are we at now? I need to get a few more of those. Perfect. So then here I can grab that. First we'll choose another research. I've got those. Good, that's what I wanted. More gathering means we're more efficient, which is good. We're getting up there to where I no longer really need to worry. We'll get the charcoal kilns because I assume I'm going to want to get that started sooner rather than later. Yes, I was going to pull someone off of the dock, send them here. Once they arrive, there we go, I can then supercharge. Rumble in the deep. Sir, people working in the deepest part of the shaft report rumbling sounds and slight tremors coming from below. They complain about getting dizzy from the toxic fumes coming through the cracks. We might be forced to evacuate them quickly in case of emergency. To do this, we'll need to provide safety equipment for both the rescuers and the shaft crew. It will also protect workers from the fumes, improving workplace safety. Shall we start making it? Yeah, remind me when we get the resources, which is 5 more steam exchangers. Good thing I have people making steam exchangers. So we don't actually want people working here. You get out of there because it is deadly. So go back to working the dock. And when can I run this again? Another day and a half. There we go. So our scout that's not a scout is ready. I know that this is the direction. This one just popped up. That's going to head towards the site that they told us to check out. So I'm going to head that direction. Charcoal kiln has been researched. No, go away, all of you. Charcoal kiln thermostat will make our charcoal kilns better. Oh, and while I'm waiting, resources, the large resource depot. Let's just put down an uncomfortable number of them. There to there. That'll get us insane amount of storage for lots of resources. Probably starting with wood. Okay, charcoal kiln. We'll get even better charcoal kilns. More wood storage. So this is going to store 1,800 wood, which is a lot. You'll be for rations. You can be for raw food. There. Actually, can I fit anything in front of that? Like standard house size? No. Then we'll just put it just right against here. Actually, these can technically go inside, but I'm not going to. So there and there. And I'm probably just gonna complete the circle around, just like I did on the other side. There. And that will be good for coal and steel, I think, are the last two I haven't got yet. What law now? Yeah, don't really need any of that. We go to labor. So after signing the worker council, then we can go up to official doctrine. Worker councils are great fonts of innovation, but too often they go astray. We need to control which of their ideas are publicized. Motivational speech will increase motivation, which is great. Workers' council's ideas will no longer have negative consequences, which is great. Motivation will rise slightly, which is great. But workers get a little pissy. But that's fine. It's like, come up with all of your ideas. I'll decide which one I want to publicize and say is the direction we're going. Which means you don't actually have power anymore. I'm just making you a front so that you think you have power. And everyone is happy. We need some more steam cores because we are running low. So let's grab 2 more of those because we only have 1 more steam core. Safety equipment. Sir, we now have enough resources to prepare the safety equipment necessary to ensure evacuation of people working in the deepest part of the shaft in case of emergency and improve their work safety. Yeah, prepare that safety equipment. So that means that these should now be a little bit safer, and they are. Nope, just this. These people are still screwed. Once the toxic gases go down again, I will consider getting people working again. Didn't I get the research for another ventilation? Yeah. What am I missing? Steel. I'm not getting enough steel in? That's awkward. So you're going to move on to nature sculpture. I guess it's because I've got some banked up there. So second ventilation plant. For when we're ready to really get going on construction. Faster gathering. I need more steel. There we go. Faster gathering. Get me my resources. Cool, so you guys are currently not working. Gather up some more coal. Turn more food into food. Work at a sawmill. I don't know. Max out the wood and steel better? Sure. Council's protest. Sir, council representatives rouse the workers to protest your signing of official doctrine. Why are you trying to muzzle the workers' councils? A representative steps forward from the group of workers, waving the proclamation crumpled in his fist. What's the purpose of this? You are going too far. The representatives seem really agitated, but we might invite them to dine with you so you could convince them. I'll try to win them over at the cost of 158 rations, or they have to get over it and strike risk rises. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Here's some food. Wine and dine with me. We're all on the same page. Alright, so we need... Is it steel? What do we not have a lot of capacity-wise? Storage. That's not helpful. Yes. So it is steel and coal, maybe? No, coal I've got a ton of. What are you guys? Wood, rations, raw food. I don't have coal. Coal and steel. There. Now I shouldn't have to worry about storage limits ever again. Okay. Better gathering. Boosted carts would be good. I could get started on the foundry stuff. But we'll make our scouts better. Because we still have tons of places to scout, and I could get more people and build a second scout post. Nature sculpture. As we suspected, it's just tall rock sculptured by winds into the shape that from a certain angle looks like a standing human. It's a useful landmark nonetheless. Let's move on to the field kitchen. We can see something that looks like a field kitchen amongst the rocks over there. All right. Health is fine. Food is great. All right, our scouts are even better. Let's get the safety procedures on those just cuz. Come on. Oh, and I didn't turn you off, did I? So I'm just burning coal for no reason. There we go. So yeah, we are maxing out the piles. We found no food in the field kitchen, although it must have been used recently. There's still some water inside, some water in the 2 large pots inside. Move on to Site 107. Perfect.
Get up, workers. Report for duty.
Sawmill has used up all of its wood, so we'll pull people off of that. Research. I guess we'll head towards the foundry. I could also head down here to automatic prototyping and get the high flow filters, which would make our coal even better on those. Probably a sensible thing to do. We got 2 more of the steam coal, or steam cores. That's the word. Do I need more people? Not especially. I could get up a second fishing dock, and then my scouts really wouldn't need to do anything. Another steam core and 9 more people. Why not? And we will build a second fishing harbor. Alright, we've got to Site 107. There are still people here packing their belongings and preparing dozens of coffins for transport. A young engineer approaches us. I told them so. The young engineer, who introduced herself as Effie McLaughlin, is relieved to see us. I'm glad you came. We are to be evacuated, but you just can't be sure in these times, she says. Then she tells us what happened. Long story short, the core of their generator exploded after a fire broke out in the final stages of construction. Effie says she saw the tragedy coming, but no one listened to her, the youngest engineer on site. She and some friends are not giving up. They want to use their experience to help us finish our generator. Well, sure, take them to our camp. We'll get 10 of the structures, 5 of the steam whatevers they are that I'm building right now, another steam core, and 12 engineers, or I could just grab the resources and leave them. But no, 12 engineers are fantastic. Alright, concentration will fall tomorrow. That sounds like tomorrow is going to be a great day to get going on some of this stuff. Pessimist. So a group of workers reports the defeatist attitude of their colleague. He's such a complainer. Nothing but, oh, we'll never finish this thing on time, and we will all die here for nothing, and the end is nigh, and there's a worm in my soup, and so on. Everyone's sick of it. They demand you straighten him out, or they'll do it. I can punish him, discontent will rise, or let him vent and motivation will fall. We will let discontent rise because our discontent is actually pretty low, so punish the defeatist. Discontent rises a tiny bit, but nothing big. And why not use that to make our motivation even higher? And was there another? Yeah, motivational speech, which will make our motivation rise even farther. Might as well, so the cooldown can start, and I click it again. Max motivation. Okay, we've got the foundry researched. Innovative process, we'll want that. So that whenever we get to that point, we're good. Demon drink. A small group marched out of the chapel after evening service carrying makeshift signs with slogans such as "Ban the demon drink" and "Renounce sin, choose temperance." They are now picketing the public house, demanding that it stops serving alcohol. Angry patrons volunteer to drive the teetotalers away, but they want to make sure they won't get in trouble for this. So we can side with the teetotalers, and the public house will have 30% less effect. We can have at 'em, lads. People might get hurt, and discontent will rise. Or wait them out, and the public house will reopen in 24 hours. We'll wait them out. We are using the bathhouse. What's our coal looking like? Yeah, so we're still gaining 400 a day. and only using 72. It would be good for me to get more coal. Our wood is fantastic, so I'm going to get the charcoal kiln now that's fully researched up and get some people started on that. And I guess while I'm thinking about it, I will build a foundry so that we're ready when we reach the next stage of this project. Yeah, gases fall tomorrow, so it'll be a great day to get going farther on this project. Forgers have returned to the city with their people. I don't know. Nesting place. Check that out. Did I build this? Yes. All day. Get 15 people working on it. I could get more of these made, and I probably should. Wait. Oh, those are our 12 engineers. Yeah, about that. I'll put 5 there to make our infirmary fully stocked. I have 7 more engineers. I could put them in the cookhouse and the pub. Part of me is thinking of doing another work station so that I can research faster, but research isn't an issue at this point. So I think getting more workers available is better. So engineers, use your technical training to make food and serve drinks in a bar. We'll make the foundry a bit safer, and I have 6 more workers now. You are overflowing that. I assume you'll be the same, 23 an hour, and they're picking up... Oh, you're not at 24 hours. What are you doing, man? No wonder our steel isn't good. Once we get everyone stored in there. Okay. So this is now 23.4, and it's being picked up at about 18.5. So if I drop down people, probably there is how I'll balance that out. Get a few more people working on fishing. I have 1 more worker to throw somewhere. Oh, charcoal kiln. I will pull 10 of you off of that. Long hours, put 15 of you on there. And hopefully that doesn't burn up all of our wood. Now that it's running, so our coal gain is now outrageous. The charcoal kiln is getting us 800 per day as opposed to the 200 per day of the gathering post. And wood-wise, we are now burning 200 per day, but still gaining 600 per day, which sounds excellent to me. I'm actually going to take off 4 more people from this one to just max that out, and hopefully that doesn't break things farther. Oh, we gotta wait for the efficiency to actually max out to see where things shake out. People are falling ill. Oh, I have homeless people. Let's deal with that while I'm thinking about it. There. Come on. 1 person going to treatment. It's not allowed. So yeah, still getting crazy amounts of coal now. And wood-wise, we're still fine. Still only burning 200 per day. Now that we have tons of coal coming in, I might want to head down to here and get a 3rd ventilation plant just so I know that we'll be safe. And this is supposed to fall when work time starts, and it didn't, because tomorrow, sometimes in this scenario, tomorrow means tomorrow, and sometimes it means the day after tomorrow. And I don't know why they do it that way. You're still maxing things out, are you? 20, 20. Sure. Nesting place. We'll move on to the lake full of fish. As it is, I think we have enough food coming in that I don't need to have my scouts be grabbing food anymore. 9 more workers. Good. I guess I don't have anything better to do besides that. So if I wanted people working here, where are we at? We're at -5 plus 1, so a -4. This one is just -4, so either way. I could... What I need to do is keep building these so I can speed up, supercharge these, because time-wise we're set. That actually seems like a good use of my time. So, pull you guys off coal because you don't really matter at this moment, and keep making a whole bunch of these. Pull one of you guys off, say this one that we've already started. We've already started both. You head into here when you get there. There we go. Supercharge. Hop off. Go back here, and when they get to 5 of them, we'll put you on the other one and supercharge it. All hail the generator from the official doctrine. Sir, to impress on our people the importance of their work, the most engaged workers are organizing Day of the Generator. They plan to gather everybody and throw a feast to celebrate the construction of the generator. The activists report that the proposal is met with widespread approval. It seems that people are warming up to the radical ideas. They ask if you'd like to support them. Carry on and motivation will rise slightly, which is great, or give them food. Motivation will rise even more, discontent will fall, and 179 rations will be spent. Food is great, so have some of it. We've got the capacity to deal with that loss. We're almost maxed on wood again. That's special. Actually, let's see. This is -4. If I turn on both of these, we'd be at -2. Slap that on and we'd be at -1. Both of them and we'd be at 0, which sounds great. And if it does fall tomorrow, I could then move them on to this other one, and same thing. Yeah, we've got lots of wood, so let's pull all of that production off temporarily. Move everyone into here, turn on both of these, set for 24 hours. That makes us here at safety-wise at -2. Use both of these, and we are now safe. You need 3 more people? I can help with that. There. Maximum efficiency on a safe working location, because I'm a good guy. Hypo filters means even less coal consumption, which sounds great to me. Another book of laws. Alright, we're starting to get up into the crazy territory. So, selfless sacrifice. Our work must be completed on time. Sometimes this requires sacrificing everything in the name of efficiency. Selfless sacrifice. Selfless sacrifice raises workplace efficiency by 25%. Motivation will slightly rise. Selfless sacrifice reduces workplace safety by 2. The name of this does the exact opposite of what it claims. Workplace safety improves by 1, but efficiency falls by 25. Raises efficiency by 25, but lowers safety by 2. I super don't trust that question mark. Let's go back. Propaganda. Strategically placed loudspeakers will remind our employees of the importance of their work and increase their motivation. I can build an agitator, which significantly increases the motivation of workers in nearby workplaces. And I'll have to build 2 of them. They cost basically nothing. And make workers raising efficiency and motivation? Yes, please. Agitator. Let's see if we can build one over here that will hit, like, the dock there and all of these things. Yeah. So an agitator there, an agitator over here so we can hit that dock and these buildings, and another agitator, I don't know, here, so that we can hit this center area. Any other buildings that I want to massively improve? I mean, maybe fishing, but I have to build roads out there. Yeah, good enough. We have 4 homeless that we've gained from somewhere. I'm clearly not keeping track. Build it there. Can't raise motivation again. Agitators are built. The first agitators are operational. Your encouraging words can reach more people. Good.
Workers, your work is over for today.
Alright, you guys are still going strong. Safe environment. All the people. Fantastic. We'll be done in 3 hours, and we are 2 days ahead of schedule. We've got the high flow filters, so we're using less coal. We can build another ventilator. And that will be the end of our generator tech tree. Which sounds great to me. So you explore this. There's plenty of fish in this lake. We could stay here for a few days and catch them all. I would rather move on and explore other things. Rusty rails. How are you guys doing? Still have more of these to build. That's fine. Okay, we have finished with that piece, which I've already forgotten, the pressure valves. Now we got to work on the tower pumps. So if I do the same thing of that and this, then we are in safe conditions. Do I need steel? I still need steel. Food isn't as important at this exact moment. So let's pull people off of those. That'll give us 30 more workers. There we go. And you're set to a 24-hour? Yeah. So go to town and supercharge it. You get an extra 20% done. Where is everyone? 40% efficiency is not good. Going to eat? I didn't tell you you could eat. Alright, we, I think, got another drop in toxic gases. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pluses and 4 minuses. So yeah, I could actually turn off the safety procedures, keeping us still in safe conditions, but not having the 25% loss in efficiency. So keep going, guys. Food and health, anything I care about? Not really. I'll get those at some point. Efficient gathering. A better reloading station? Why not? I've got 3 steam cores kicking around. I can make my steel even better. Another labor law. Abolition of privileges. We are all equal. Everyone will be required to work anywhere they're sent, no matter worker or engineer. Anyone can be employed at any workplace. Motivation will rise slightly. Workers employed as engineers have 75% efficiency. Discontent of engineers will rise permanently. So if I did this, I could then send anyone anywhere, but I'm happy keeping them doing what they're doing. I have no reason to send workers to help out in the medical posts or whatever. And I guess I could have engineers doing manual labor, but anything else? Dispensary. We could use the newest experimental medicines to treat the gravely ill. It allows you to cure the gravely ill using potent chemical medicines that can have side effects. So it basically is a alternative to the infirmary with side effects, and I see no benefit to that. I don't want short shift. Comfortable quarters. I've been thinking about signing that for a while now. Why don't we? It'll make people even happier at the cost of wood, which isn't a problem. So we now have to house 34 more people. Okay, that gets out of range. You're in range. I'll build a house there and here. Okay. That's probably enough. It's harder to math because it's now times 8 rather than times 10. All right, so we had built the fire dampeners, but we also are safe, so we have the escape routes available. So we could seal off the source. The generator won't be able to power more than a few heat zones. Workers will evacuate safely. So we can make the generator less efficient in the end to save our workers. We could leave the source open so the generator would have nominal power, but all of the workers underground would die, and discontent would greatly rise. Oh, I guess I should read this. The source is exposed. Sir, there was a catastrophic accident in the lower levels. A cave-in exposed the underground heat source, engulfing our people in deadly fumes. We can seal off the source off to save them, although it would permanently reduce the power available to the generator, but if we leave it open, all our people underground will die. Because we built that safety equipment, we can let the generator have nominal power. Many workers will be gravely injured, and the construction will be stopped for 3 hours. Or we can use the escape routes. Because we are working in a safe condition, the generator will have normal power. Some workers will be injured. The construction site will stop for 3 hours. So this is better than using the equipment because injured is better than gravely injured. So use the escape routes. That's why we're being safe. Meanwhile, they're just stuck for a few hours. Successful evacuation. Sir, we have some great news. All workers are rescued and the source remains open. Some of our people were hurt, a few of them seriously, but if we provide them with proper medical care, they will live. And when we finish the generator, it will be able to achieve its full heating power. Several workers are hurt. The generator will achieve its full heating power. Well done. So hopefully our infirmary is ready to go. Equal duties. Union representatives berate you about inequality. We are making history, you say. We are mankind's last hope. And yet, while workers toil, engineers sit on their fat butts. Enough. Our old privileges have no place in the new world, from each according to their ability, and they're perfectly capable to do manual labor. Darn right, and I'll have to pass the abolition of privileges, or I'll think about it. Discontent will rise. I'll think about it. Like, I'm fine with workers making calls about what's best for worker safety, but sending workers into an infirmary feels like a bad call. Alright, we've dealt with the homeless situation. And rusting rails. Hundreds of huge, extremely heavy rails lie here, partially sunken into the frozen ground. Let's move on. And that shows us a closed tavern. Let's check it out. You guys, keep building these. We need lots and lots of them. Potentially even over 24 hours. Just go to town. We have the advanced reloaders now. Advanced docks? Maybe? Get even more resources coming in. Infirmary checklists will make the infirmaries heal people faster. That's needed at this exact moment because we have 10 injured. Granted, I think they'll be done before we finish that. 7 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours. Few people are going to treatment, but yeah, just a handful of hours, and this is going to take 6 hours. So it won't make much difference in this particular case. And we're almost done with this. Less than an hour. We reach stage 2. With the foundation in place, it is time to build the fiery heart of the generator called a core. It will have to be enclosed within 2 support frames, which will also hold up the external parts of the generator. Okay. So that is going to cost us. The core is 25 steel composites, which are built in the foundry. And then the support frames are the structural profiles. So we'll need to have 50 of them. Easy enough. Let's put some people here. It is super safe. We could even turn off one of these vents and still be safe. Put 30 people on here and tell them to just go to town. We have stupid amounts of wood, so build me 50 of these. Have fun. So the steel composites, on the other hand, those are taking 20 steel and 40 coal, which is a lot. So I'll get started on those soon enough. 45 people left over. You guys can go back to fishing so we don't run out of food, because food is what I use to pay off strikers. Get you guys going. Oh, I'm out of workers? Where did I put people that I don't want people? Interesting. I guess for now, you guys aren't as important. Keep getting us resources. You don't need to work overnight. That'll give me 10 more people. Put them here and max that out. Could make the argument for also slightly reducing our food production, because it's probably fine. Actually, I can just check if it's fine. Food. Yeah, it's fine. We are making 390 extra rations a day. Not that button, this button. 360. If I just turn you off and grab these people, am I still making stupid amounts of food? I am. And that's not from the scouts, the hunters. Just a single fully staffed fishing post is more than enough. Perfect. I like to see that. So I still have 10 extra people that I guess I can actually put you on 24-hour work. 30 of you go into town. Have fun. And coal-wise, are we still also great? We are. Closed tavern. The tavern looks deserted. The signboard over the door says, Pole Star, L'Étoile Polaire? I don't speak French. The second name is in French. The tavern isn't abandoned after all. A rotund man is bustling about, hefting crates and trunks on a sledge. He introduces himself and as the owner of this fine establishment. While the French were around, I had patrons all day long, workers curing hangovers with a breakfast, engineers drinking buckets of coffee over their maps and blueprints, and in the evening, all together working hard on the next hangover. All of them chatting in bloody French. Now it's over. Take whatever you need. I'm leaving for good. Alright, we'll grab it. And that shows us the railroad track. News from London, Site 120. Great work on laying down the generator's foundations. You're making good time. Down here, bad weather and crop failures prompted an exodus to the colonies. Those who stay place their hopes in the government's newly unveiled evacuation plan. Our company was accused of profiteering by opposition politicians. Pure slander, of course. Unfortunately, we lost contact with Site 120. We are attaching its coordinates and would appreciate if you could spare a few men to check up on them. We'll do our best. Okay, so now we need to go check out what's going on with Site 120. Site 107 we know already failed. Site 113 is us and doing great. We are 5 days ahead of schedule. What happened to Site 120? Why are they no longer reporting in? Alright, we are low on wood. I guess I can pull back a tiny bit on these. And we'll get medical mechanization. Sounds good. Now build a couple more to make up. Let's see. Do I still have... We can see how many are queued versus how many we have. Yeah. 50 is what we need. Having 8 more will allow us safety if we need it. So 58 is great. A new law. We've got the comfortable quarters. I'm not going to do the cocaine pills or the house of pleasure. Hopefully no one dies, but I could at least sign the laws so that if they do, we deal with their bodies happily or well, and so people will be happier. I think it makes people happier, maybe. Prostheses, if people get injured. We'll sign it so we have the option. Meanwhile, do I need anything else from here? I'll wait until I can get a third one. So, in an hour. There we go. Did I research the advanced docks? No. So I think that's what I want to do next, is advance the docks and then get a third gathering post. No, I don't have the people. I'll just update both of these to advanced. Yeah, that might be a better call. The railroad track. Railroad track runs from one horizon to the other. It's enormous. The rails are almost knee-high and run on very wide sleepers. We can see a storehouse and 3 graves. Let's check out the storehouse first. Okay, infirmary mechanization is done, so we got 5 more engineers kicking around. Man, I don't know what to do with you. I guess work a 24-hour shift and throw 3 more of you in there. And the rest go work in the pub. It's fine. So this whole tree is done. I don't need more foragers at the moment. I also don't need any of this. Advanced docks, just in case. Actually, faster reloading. Make the docks I have better. So these guys are going to start churning through material really fast. 17.2. So that's 34. So I need more people on here or less people on here to keep up with this. Do I have more workers I can throw around? Coal. I don't need the crazy amounts of coal I have. So we'll just get crazy amounts of steel coming in because we will need it. We've reached the storehouse. The store is filled with crates used to transport steam cores, dozens of them, enough to power an entire fleet of dreadnoughts. Most of the crates are empty. Steam cores, s'il vous plaît. A sign over the entrance says, Ministre de la Marine et des Colonies. Entrepôt number 4. It's not surprising that other nations also seek refuge in the north, but the scale of this operation is astonishing. An ancient storekeeper opens a ledger at our site. The old man apparently took us for French engineers. Bonjour, messieurs. Voici vos noyaux de vapeur pour repérer la crève-neige. He seems to offer us a shipment of steam cores. What the heck is a crève-neige? I can nod and sign the papers and get 2 steam cores, or explain the misunderstanding and we don't get the steam cores. I don't speak French, so I'm gonna just do my best to explain the misunderstanding and move on. We told the shopkeeper about his mistake. For a moment, we weren't sure whether he's about to burst into anger or tears. Then he closed his ledger and mutters a single sentence before he left. Merci, messieurs. Votre honnêteté vos honneur. Game shouldn't make me speak French. It's not good. And we will move on. We did not get the steam cores. Because, again, I'm playing a good guy playthrough. How are we doing on these? We have lots. So let's set down a support frame or 2. Radical activist. An engineer known for his criticism of your official doctrine was ambushed by some masked workers. They beat him bloody and told him, "We're building a new world, so watch it, you fat leech." If you're not with us, you're against us. What do you have to say about it? I condemn all violence and discontent will fall slightly, or he had it coming and motivation will rise slightly. I condemn all violence. I'm not gonna encourage people to beat up our engineers. We need those guys. Unless, again, we want workers working our infirmaries, which seems like a bad call. Advanced docks. Okay, so we have our docks now working better. So 25 steel per hour, and these people are still pulling off 17 steel per hour. Wow. Even maxed out. Why are you pulling off so much less? Oh, no? They're both advanced. Yeah, beats me. 17, 17, 25. Yeah, they're gonna run out of steel soon. 3 graves, moving on. The dots turn out to be graves. The headstones read Lob, Prolof, and Belot. Who were they? Why were they buried in such a remote place? We'll never know. Moving on. And we should head over here to the workers' camp, because that's heading towards that site that we're supposed to check into, Site 120. But in the meantime, I will just swing up and finish the rest of this. We now have all of our structural profiles that we needed. Let's build the other supporting frame. There. If we do a 24-hour shift, where are you at safety-wise? At a -4, I could turn on the other ventilation plant to bring us down to a -2. And then both of these to bring us to safe? Sure. Let's pull you 30 off. Put you on there. Turn you on. So we're now harmful. We'll grab our fishermen to be our remaining 45. And then use safety structures. Oh, it's gonna rise. And there. And we now have our people working fast and hard on getting those structures done as quickly as possible so we can keep our very ahead of schedule, because I like that. Our docks are now fully researched. Efficient gathering for if I ever send those people back to the call. I didn't send them back, right? No. Okay. These guys are making good progress. Train station. It's a small railway station which look ridiculous beside the enormously wide tracks with huge rails that stretch north from here. What kind of gigantic train runs on them? We find an old French station master who tells us that all Crève-Neige departures are on hold until further notice. Asked what Crève-Neige is, he laughs like we told him a good joke. Maybe we are misunderstood. French is not our strength, after all, but we feel like someone was messing with us. It's not funny. Icy Plateau and Crève-Neige. So let's head to the Icy Plateau. You guys keep chugging along. Our transport arrived with 3 more steam cores. While I'm at it, let's add down another ventilation. That way, now that this has gone up, hopefully we can keep things going well. I need people to start building that. Sure, sawmill extension, I don't know. You guys, stop working, start building. Okay. There we go. Set it to 24 hours. And go back to burning coal. So, we are now still at safe conditions. Even with being at tier 3, like high-level toxic gases. And that's what I like to see. Icy Plateau. The rails are covered with ice, sometimes disappearing under it. We follow them until they are no longer visible. After the track disappears under the ice, we followed its general direction for a couple of miles, seeing nothing on the horizon. Then backtracked and fanned out, trying to find the place where the track comes back up. It seems that it does not. Where did the tracks leave? We might never know. That's it. So we'll head back to Crève-Neige. Grateful father. Sir, we have news from the father of the sick child you allowed to go home. He wrote one of his friends that his daughter did not make it, but he's grateful that he could be there to hold her hand. Our people appreciate that you made the right call. Discontent will fall slightly. I see. We actually are not maxed on motivation, so let's have a sermon. It's been a while since we've needed that. And move on to steam sawmill research. More research I don't need, but I just can do. There we go. We have finished that support frame, so let's kick everyone over onto this one. And same thing. Run an all-day shift in perfectly safe conditions. I think I'm going to save the steam exchangers because these get built pretty fast. Krebnej. An enormously huge locomotive lies on its side. It's a view both majestic and pathetic. What a waste. The engine is unbelievably huge, like a beach ship. It is overturned when the ground gave way under its massive weight and the tracks buckled. There's an inscription on its main boiler, Krebnej number 12. Surely the French have a taste for dimensions. Pity that the land has let them down. Now we can only salvage the resources from this magnificent machine. I looked up online. Apparently Krebnej, which, again, I don't speak French, means either snowplow or snowpiercer. So that's, I guess, what that was supposed to be. But we're going to get 5 of these plates that we needed and 2 steam cores. So let's grab those. We could head over to the trapper's cabin, and I guess we will because we're out here. But soon we'll want to just swing back to the construction site, drop off what we have, and then swing over to the workers' camp to check out Site 120.
Time to rest. You've earned it.
Steam sawmill is done. I think that's the entire resource page done. Food and health. More foragers. Sure, why not? You guys are still going. Resources are still collecting at a great rate. Food isn't growing as much as I'd like. Coal is actually going down. That's dangerous. Food... Oh, right. Food isn't going up because we took everyone off to get them working. That's right. Trapper's cabin. The cabin is sturdy and shielded from the prevailing winds by the rock. A cozy refuge. A cast iron stove stands beside a desk and a sturdy chair. 2 books lie on the desk, on the origins of species by means of natural selection or the preservation of favored races in the struggle for life by Charles Darwin, M.A., and Voyage au centre de la Terre, a novel by Jules Verne, Voyage to the Center of the Earth. There's also a crate of canned food here. Those are some good books. We will grab the 83 rations, and then looks like we have found everything out here. So let's move back to our construction site. Okay, I think we have one last research. So go for it. That'll allow us to have 3 scouts out, even though we're nearly done with our 1 scout. Wow, huge discontent fall. That's unhappy. And I guess I can sign a law at some point. So let's go with the reparations of bodies. Sign that law. I have to build a morgue, but it could make people happy. I don't know. Let's put it back here. Sure. Gases will fall tomorrow, unless tomorrow means the day after tomorrow, as it sometimes does. And we have finished up that whole center area. So we've got our 45 people left. We'll get you guys back onto food. Where did our other people come from? I mean, I assume probably intending to be working something like this. So yeah, perfectly safe. I can throw all 30 people onto here and have them working all day long. How many of these are we needing? We need 25 of these. Okay. Steel and coal. Build me 20 to start with. Oh, we still have lots of resources, even with them all banked up. Just build me the full... Was it 25? Yeah, 25 plates. Perfect. And I got another research done. I think you guys are done. Most Frostpunk games, I don't finish the entire research tree, but most Frostpunk games, I don't have the 24-hour shift that isn't causing major discontent problems and just using extra people, because that's just a better 24-hour shift. So I'm going to pull 5 of you off of here because I don't need you, and put you on this medical post where I also don't need you. And you guys can just have a vacation. Built the morgue, so motivation rises a bit. We're out of food. Well, out of raw food. Plenty of food rations. Are we building up food? We are. That's what I like to see. We've got back to the construction site, so they dropped off those items they had, and we'll move on to the workers' camp to find out what's going on with Site 120. Graffiti, propaganda. Someone defaced an agitator. Worker, you are being used. Don't fall for the lies. Although there are no ways to tell... There's no way to tell for sure who did it. Everyone whispers that this can only be the work of an engineer. I can have it cleaned up, motivation will fall slightly, or have engineers clean it up and discontent will rise slightly. An engineer, you clean it up. Discontent is fine. I'll burn it off in the next bout or whatever, like fist fight.
Workers, your work is over for today.
Yeah, everything is going swimmingly right now. How are you guys doing? You're almost done. That's nifty. Scouts are ready. They found the workers' camp. Dozens of workers eye us suspiciously as we approach. They're a pitiful sight, starving and dressed in rags which don't cover their injuries. The workers tell us about Site 120, where they toiled in inhuman conditions under their slave-driving boss until they had enough and ran away one night. They beg us not to betray them if we visit their site. They're starved and about half of them are sick. They won't survive alone in the wilderness. We'll tell them to stay put for now. I want to see what's going on at the site first. So we can come back and grab them later if we wish. We'll head to the collapsed mine first. Oh, look up here. We see a temperature drop is coming, finally. We've been spending this whole time at this balmy 10 degrees Celsius. We've got all of our parts we needed to build the next portion of our generator, which is nice. But yes, we're finally about to see some temperatures dropping. Let's pull you guys off of there. 24-hour shift. It is dangerous, even with all 3 of these running. That's awkward. So we're at -3. So even if I used both these, it would only bring us to -2. Or to -1, which is still unsafe. So no. I'm gonna not use you guys yet. I'll turn off the ventilation plants. Yeah. I turned you off on accident. Let's turn you off. There. Get some more coal being made. There could be an argument for getting a second one so I can have an even larger stockpile of coal. A new law. Let's go company funerals. Those who give their lives in the service of the Empire deserve the highest honor. We will send their bodies to England in steel coffins and bury them at the company's expense. So now sending bodies to London will increase motivation. I'm still hoping not to have anyone die. So yeah, if I sign this, we'll no longer send them in wood coffins, we'll send them in steel coffins. But yeah, why not?
New rules are in place.
I don't feel like building another charcoal kiln at the moment, so I'll just have you guys work in here. There. And then when I need to pull you off, I know where you'll be. Discontent falls. Motivation fell a little bit. That's not great. I could actually work to get more steel in, but it doesn't seem important. Or I could... So, we're almost done with stage 3. I could actually, while the fumes are high, actually the fumes are now salvageable, I could have put the people instead onto building the resources needed for the next level. But we will just get started because I can now have safe conditions. Put all of you there. Let's grab fishermen. Put you guys on there. Turn on all of these. So we're now at harmful. Oh, I don't have the profiles. Not bad. You guys, go in here. Make me a whole bunch of profiles. You found the collapsed mine. It's a coal mine, but it's been evacuated after a collapse. Let's move on to Site 120. To Site 120. There we go. Alright, we got plenty of these profiles. There we go. Hop back onto here. You guys, leave there. Hop back onto there. Yeah, let's grab off of here. Okay. Still have plenty of people. So you guys can go back to gathering resources. And you're fully staffed. So with both of these, it is now safe and speed up the process by 20%. Fire danger. Sir, a small fire broke out in the unfinished core. We managed to put it out before it spread, but this is bound to happen again if we do not improve the work safety. Additionally, we can build fire dampeners inside the structure to limit the scale of any potential fires and the damage from them. Yeah, let's build the fire dampeners. We've got the resources. It's the steel plates, which we don't want to waste, but I think that brings up our safety even more. So that brings us to... No, that still is just 5. Hot bath. Sir, an engineer came forward complaining about that some people use the bathhouse for sex. Animals! With the noises they make, it's impossible to relax. Will you put an end to this depravity? Of course. Motivation will fall slightly, discontent will fall slightly. It's none of my business, discontent will rise. Well, we need a place for this, and I'll have 3 days to sign the House of Pleasure. It's none of my business. You guys do what you're gonna do. I'm not gonna lower motivation. And I can deal with discontent pretty easily. So, why did that not help? Because I thought buying those safety equipment would have given me another +1, but it didn't, which I'm disappointed about. Site 120. This place eerily resembles our own camp, but destroyed by fire and riots. It seems that their generator was very nearly completed before it blew up. Site 120 has been destroyed by a violent rebellion. Unburied bodies lie everywhere. We found no survivors. Peeking into the generator's pit, we saw even more bodies scattered at the bottom. Judging from their clothes, most of the victims were engineers. All buildings are in ruins, gutted by fire and wrecked on purpose. We'll gather whatever supplies we can find and leave this terrible place. Let's grab the 10 structures and move on to the snowy hills. So there was apparently some sort of rebellion where the workers and engineers fought, and engineers were killed and thrown into the generator pit. News from London, our last hope. Thank you for investigating Site 120. We reiterate that if you happen to find any survivors, apprise us of any new information they might provide. According to reports from all over the globe, the cooling shows no sign of slowing down. With the other generator project scrapped, your site is now Liverpool's last hope. If the evacuation becomes necessary, you can count on us. You guys head there. And you guys here. Head there. Get more resources coming in. So it's times like these where I kind of think it might be nice to sign the law for making engineers work in labor areas. But I don't know. Feels like crossing a line. Snowy hills. We followed the fugitives into the foothills but lost their trail here. The freshly fallen snow has covered all footprints, wood and steel. Searching the area, we found some resources scattered around. The fugitives must have left all inessential supplies behind to lighten their load before entering the hills. There's no telling what happened to them, but considering the remoteness of the land and the harsh climate, they are likely to die of starvation and exposure before finding help. We'll grab those resources, and we can move back to the workers' camp and decide what to do with them. Looks like we are 50% through this, and 9 days ahead of schedule. Evacuate them now. There are people inside the core. They'll die. Sound of explosion comes from the generator, and then din of terrified voices. A fire broke out in the nearly finished core. Many workers are trapped inside. We can evacuate them, but if the fire is allowed to spread unchecked, it will destroy the core and forever cripple the generator. We can evacuate the workers, crippling the generator. The generator will be prone to malfunctions. Some workers will be injured. All progress on the core will be lost. We can cut off the air supply to put the fire out. The generator will be of normal quality. Many workers will die. Discontent will rise greatly. Strike risk will rise greatly. We can use the fire dampeners that we built to put the fire out. The generator will be of normal quality. Many workers will be gravely injured. Some progress on the core will be lost. Or use the emergency safety systems because we're running safe. The generator will be of normal quality. Some workers will be injured. We'll use the safety equipment that we built for just this purpose. We have 18 sick, but we have a great infirmary that can hold 20, so all's well. Motivation dropped a little bit, and we have made it to the workers' camp, so let's explore there again. Yeah, nothing new there. So, I know if we play the engineer-focused side, which is what I did on my first playthrough, when you lead them to the camp, because 50 workers is a lot and can be useful, towards the end of the project, they start throwing huge fits and about how much the engineers are in control, and basically they were part of the problem before, and they carry on with that problem now. Since we've got a worker-focused site, maybe it'll be okay? Or maybe there'll be some other problem. I don't know. But I will take them to our camp, which could end in disaster. I need to build housing for 50 more people, which I didn't think about before clicking that button. So, if I want to build a chapel here, say, let's see, if I build a tent here and here, and then the chapel. I always misclick. It's middle click to rotate, not right click. So here. And that gives us good chapel coverage everywhere. 50 people would have been 5 tents, so what is it? 50 divided by 8? 7 or 8? Depending on how things shake out and how many spare beds I have right now. Sure. We'll go with that. Build a road over to here. Build that road to there. Hurt by words. Sir, engineers are worried about that certain messages broadcasted by the agitators undermine their authority. They take issue with slogans meant to boost workers' resolve and motivation, such as "Workers, show the engineers what you're made of," or "Engineers said it couldn't be done, prove them wrong." Leave the slogans and discontent will rise, or cut the slogans and motivation will fall. Leave the slogans. We have sided with the workers. We're not changing. Let's keep boosting our motivation to max. Site 120 workers. We were glad to hear that you located and took in survivors from Site 120. Although the exact details of what transpired there are still unclear, we strongly suspect some sort of syndicalist conspiracy. We urge you to keep an eye out for subversive elements hiding among the workers you took in. According to reports from all over the globe, the cooling shows no sign of slowing down. With the other generator project scrapped, your site is now Liverpool's last hope. If the evacuation becomes necessary, we shall be vigilant. We will keep an eye out for those subversive elements that would threaten to harm us. Do I want to sign any other laws? I mean, I could force the workers to work, or the engineers to work. But no, we're about to get 50 more workers. I don't need engineers to carry some burdens. So we've got the workers, we've got tons of extra resources. So workers, 50 people now need jobs. So you can help out with getting fish, and what else did we have to turn off? You guys. So you are fully staffed, you guys are fully staffed. Yeah, I think these were actually down at like 13 or something, if I'm remembering. Something like that. So we have 5 more workers to throw around somewhere. Although one could argue that... No. I don't know, 5 more workers. We'll send you here to gather coal. Whatever. I was thinking if I had more of them, I could start them working on generating these plates, or I probably still could. That would be a more useful use of time than just toiling away there. Because when we finish this, which will be pretty soon, we're at 93%, we'll move on to this, where we need 50 of the steam exchangers and 20 of the plates. So you 5, head over here, and just keep chugging along on those. And we're almost full. That's what they're complaining about, is there's nowhere to put supplies. Well, we're gonna need, what was it, like 50 of these? So just give me a ton of them. And we're going to need a whole bunch of these, because even when we finish with step 4, then we have optional upgrades that cost even more. So 25 more plates and 45 more of the steam exchangers. So getting a bit ahead on these would not be a bad thing. Oh, that is all of my steel. Alright. And coal. But there we go, we've reached stage 3. Now erect the 2 parts of the thermal hull, which will make up for the central part of the generator. After it's done, the generator will be ready. Okay. So for that, we need the thermal hull is 25 exchangers and 10 steel each. So put some people onto there, put some people onto there. Wait, did I have the blowers off the entire time people were working in the core? I'm confused. -2. Okay, so we're at -2. Yes. So let's turn on, not that, 2 of these, meaning these buildings will be perfectly safe all day, at least while we're at this toxic level. I'll have to check at 8 in the morning to see if we've gone up and adjust accordingly. And then we have 20 more people to put somewhere. Don't really need any more of the structures. I could get more food, but I don't think that's particularly useful either. Another charcoal kiln has some value. Or I could improve the docks to get even more steel coming in. But I think I'm going to go with charcoal. That'll staff 15 more people, and I'll have 5 more toss somewhere. And yeah, that summer will be here gathering coal. And because I'm lazy and don't want to think about things, I'll just build another large resource depot to go there and just store all of that wood. End of toxic danger. Sir, now that the core of the generator is finished, we were able to seal the whole structure tightly. The toxic gases venting from the source can no longer reach the surface. We don't have to worry about them anymore. I'm glad to hear that. Well, we no longer need these. Maybe it turned them off automatically, because I would be shocked if I had built the core with those off. So now we are perfectly safe. -1 safety, +1 safety. Same here. So I don't need these generators anymore. I have tons of cores, so I might as well upgrade and get people working. I won't need all of this coal anymore if I'm not running these ever again. So instead, I will upgrade the docks again. And that'll allow me to put down a 3rd gathering spot. News from London, chaos rising. With the heart of the generator finished, the project is well on its way to completion. Well done. Amidst political turmoil back home, word got out that most generators won't be operational on time, causing widespread panic. The interim government set up a lottery system, but people claim it's rigged. The situation is volatile, and authorities brace themselves for riots. The country is singing into chaos. We won't fail. We are 9 days ahead of schedule. You are ready to move elsewhere. Where do I want you to go? I guess over here to Bald Hill. Cool. Once these upgrade, although since basically everyone is working 24-hour shifts, here, engineers, you stop working so you can start building. There we go. So we now have those built. We have how many cores? 4, 5, 6. I think these can still boost safety, and so if there's a reason, I'll leave 1, but I don't think I'll need it. But that'll get me 6 more cores, which means I can put down advanced reloading station there and another one here, which is an absurd amount of incoming resources, particularly since I obviously don't need the wood. Growing frustration. Sir, our sources report that the engineers feel threatened. They're more and more often attacked by workers, not just verbally, but also physically. Worse still, they feel that you are on the workers' side. The frustration is growing. Are they more likely to strike? Okay, if workers want to, or the engineers want to strike, they can. They're not really doing anything useful. We'll store up even more wood. Okay, and toss on 20 people here. 25 people, or 15 people there, and 10 people here. Oh, those are our engineers. Never mind. Engineers, get back to your posts of doing nothing.
Workers, your work is over for today.
You 5. Come over here and start emptying this. I don't know. How are you guys doing? Still just chugging along? Go team, have fun. Survivors from the south, spreading anxiety. Sir, People we rescued from workers' camp, those who fled the failed generator site, are unhappy with life in our camp. They complain about the workplace safety and overtime. They call the work conditions inhumane. They claim that our camp resembles their own too much. What's worse, our people listen to them and are growing anxious. I can ignore them, causing discontent to rise, or if I had the People's Militia or security outposts, I could beat some sense into them. Ignore them. I don't know what their complaint is. We've let the workers have control. Like, this isn't an engineer-run site. Logistic limit reached. Sir, we have reached the upper limit of the logistical capability allocated to us by the company. We should use it and place an order through the telegraph station. Sure. We'll grab some prosthetics in case we need them. So far we don't. We have no amputees. Some steam cores just because we want to show off our wealth. And a couple of workers. Have fun. Bald Hill. The hill isn't very tall, but offers a wide view over the plain. We can see a string of dark spots not very far from here. Let's move on. We have a mountain pass and lost crates. We'll go to the mountain pass first. Yeah, just gathering insane resources, which is fine. We just want to keep chugging along on all of this stuff. How much do we need to start assembling? We need 25 of the exchangers and 10 components. We have the 10 components and the 25, so I can just build the next part, a thermal hull. We'll let them get the next portion. First snow. On this morning, the camp wakes up to the sight of dancing white flakes. The first snow came much sooner than anyone expected, and although it melts soon, the mood remains depressed. People shuffle through the mist, the falling snow, muffling their voices and turning them pale like ghosts. Someone curses under their breath. This is the last thing we needed. Working in such cold is going to be a drag. This nasty surprise heralds an unnaturally early winter, but nobody feels like talking about it. Motivation will fall even more each morning. We must endure. We've reached the mountain pass. It seems that an avalanche came down from here not long ago. Hoof tracks disappear in the avalanche field. Did the reindeer cause it? Let's move on to the avalanche field. Alright, where are we at now? 8 days ahead of schedule. Perfect. I could... What's the safety on this? Harmful, actually. Ugh. Well, I could make it safe. If I turn this on, does it magically improve the safety of this? It does. Yeah. I don't know why the ventilation plants are helping with safety now that it's been sealed up, but it does. So let's just pull people off of wood gathering because they're not doing anything useful, clearly. I have 3,000 wood. Throw them onto there. 3 days, we'll shorten it down to 2 days and 20 hours. Use protective structures and say, go to town, people. Start making progress. These guys are still chugging along. Good. Avalanche field. We've traversed the avalanche field and found no reindeer tracks on the other side. The herd might be buried at the foot of the mountain. Alright, we've got the rock arch and a herd of mountains. A herd of reindeer. We'll go to the rock arch first because finding food doesn't matter. Good old Aunt Sally, the Workers' Council. Workers' Council took the initiative to organize an after-hours Aunt Sally tournament. Workers are in high spirits, throwing sticks at a dolly crowned with an old bowler's hat. Whack it, says one of the players, right in the head. Whoa, what a shot. I swear this dolly looks like my bloody foreman in his stupid hat. I see, motivation will rise slightly. So that's one thing the workers tree, if we go down that route, does, is it just keeps motivation really high. Which is great. It's 30% efficiency on everything. So I approve. These guys have finished. Where are we at? So I need, for another thermal hull, I'm going to need 10 of those, an additional 25 for the upgrade. So a total of 35. We are at 38. Oh, okay. Well, with that in mind, you guys stop making those and head over here to help out with construction. And what about here? So we need 25 for the thermal hull, an additional 45, so that is 70 if I can math correctly. We have 69 queued, 20 in stock, 49 queued, for a total of 69. So we'll queue a handful more because we're probably going to want to use some of them to speed up production. The beginning of the end. Change of plans. Sir, a telegram from London. We're going to be cut off. The frost is coming sooner than expected. Royal Meteorological Society warns that the sea will freeze in 12 days, stopping all navigation and fishing. We will cease all shipments in 10 days. Start stockpiling materials and food. The evacuation by an icebreaker is planned in 18 days. It is imperative that you complete the generator by then. Good luck. Temperatures will fall drastically. Deliveries will end on day 37. You must finish the generator by day 45. I see. There's a reasonable chance we might finish the generator before the frost hits, which would be fun. Rock Arch. This strangely symmetrical rock formation looks like something built with human hand, but it's a completely natural origin. Let's move on. There's nothing here. We've already visited everything. So swing by the herd of reindeer. The transport arrived with our extra workers and steam cores and prosthetics. We'll put 2 more workers onto there to max it out. 3 more workers for, I don't know, gathering more steel. Since that's all we have left are these, which just use steel. I could even build another one of these buildings, since I have absurd numbers of steam cores, to get another work team building more of those. Not that I think it really matters, but I could. Preparing for the cold, the beginning of the end. Sir, the coming cold threw everyone off guard. If the forecasts are true, it will make finishing the construction that much more difficult. Crew working on technologies started thinking about ways we could at least somewhat mitigate the coming cold. If you want to, some ideas could be developed into solutions per your request. Show me. So now we have added a new page onto our technology tree. So we've still fully researched all of those 3 pages, but now we can move on to the heat tree, and we'll head down the braziers tree first. Get that hopefully researched before the cold actually hits. Alright, we've reached the herd of reindeer. Climbing the wall of snow piled high by the avalanche, we found a herd of reindeer cut off in a small valley. Easy prey. The reindeer have no way to escape. We could stop here for a few days to hunt them and dig up those buried by the avalanche. I see. Well, as we've said, food isn't an issue, so let's go to this last location, the Lost Crates. Alright, we have researched the braziers. Moving on to radiator extensions, because I want them to be using the larger area, because braziers naturally have a really small area they cover. So trying to cover all my houses with this would just be a pain. So I'll get the extensions. It'll use more coal, but again, coal is not anything we need to worry about. And we have enough resources to build the other thermal hull. So those are the 2 parts that we need. Let's to just get these built. Survivors from the South. Thankless bastards. Sir, workers who you so selflessly decided to rescue talked our people into going on strike. They now demand safe working conditions, shorter working hours, healthier food, better accommodations, and good salary. There's absolutely no way we could satisfy those demands. What shall we do? We can't use lethal force because we don't have the people's militia or security outposts, so we will let them strike. After all I did for you... Here, have double rations. Which costs 150 rations, which isn't great, but it's also not going to break the bank. So we will now grab the efficient burners to make it so that when we put down our braziers, they are using less coal. You guys keep chugging along. Where are we at on these? So we are sitting at 24 in stock, 62 total, and we're going to need... That has been built, so it's just these, 45. So yeah, 62 is a bit overkill, but oh well, keep going. I could actually put one person working here, and then use the supercharge, and then pull that person back off, just to start progress on that. Why do I have a spare worker? What are you supposed to be doing? I don't know. Start getting us more supplies. Actually, pull out of there. We'll just keep hopping them along, I guess. Okay, that hole is finished. So we'll move you on to this one, all 75 people. And you can just keep doing what you're doing. You're not safe, though. So let's put down protective structures. Okay. We'll make advanced burners to use even less coal. We are full on steel. I can deal with that by just building another large depot. Huzzah. Some lost crates. These heavy wooden crates are used to transport valuable or fragile goods. They are stenciled with prominent signs warning against dropping them. Finders keepers? Inspecting the crates, we found some steam exchangers, steel composites. These valuable resources must have been destined for the Winterhome construction site, but it seems they got mislaid, fell off a trailer or something. Let's take the crates. Maybe this explains why Winterhome failed. Let's go to the cargo convoy. Yeah, I think there's a reasonable chance I'm going to finish this scenario before the freeze happens, and I'm not really sure what happens in that case. But I am excited to find out. Meanwhile, can I raise motivation? Because it is starting to dip. Yes. Listen to my motivational speech. All is wonderful. I have no dead. Good. Cargo convoy. The drivers got out of the haulers and gathered in the circle. They seem to be troubled. It appears that the convoy is heading for Winterhome. That's a long way from here. They are carrying parts crucial for the proper operation of Winterhome's generator. It seems that they lost several crates on the way. Without them, the construction of their generator might be compromised. Yeah, we'll return the crates. Although, guys, did you consider building these parts at the generator like we're doing? Sounds like it would have solved this problem and just shipped in raw materials. Okay, so being the good guys that we are, we've handed over those cargo crates. So looks like we have a herd of reindeer here and a lake full of fish there, and that would be everything done. So head on over and we will start getting even more food. And you will deal with our steel problem, which I thought I dealt with by just building the original ones. But guess not. Sir, workers who you so selflessly decided to rescue talked our people into going on strike. Again? Are you just gonna do this like every day now? Is that a new thing? Yeah, have double rations. There's 150 food. Now get back to work.
Workers, your work is over for today.
Improved blowers have been researched. Good. Let's get some heaters. How are temperatures? I assume they're fine. Yeah. But we can foresee that temperatures will be dropping, and so we are preparing for in a day when temperatures will drop 1 level. And then things will drop from comfortable to maybe just livable. Oh no. So is that all we're gonna need? We have 58 of these. No, don't scroll out. We have 58 of these, and we are going to need 45. Yeah. So you 30 people, find other jobs. Getting wood? Getting food? I guess food. And wood. Sure, why not? Alright, you can set up camp here at the Herd of Reindeer and start bringing in food for the next 10 days. If we do get stuck for the freeze, we probably won't actually need that food because we've got so much stockpiled, but maybe it'll help. Does it tell us anywhere how much food I've stored, like how many days worth of food? 6 days of food stored, yeah. So bringing in extra isn't gonna hurt me. We are, how far? 15 days ahead of schedule. Yeah, we're doing good.
The generator is operational. It's operational!
The generator, the final challenge. Sir, after great sacrifices, we completed the generator in record time. Some said it could not be done, and yet here it stands, shouting into the wind. We will endure. It's time to head home and celebrate our victory, unless we take up the final challenge. Out of the 3 generators planned for people of Liverpool, ours is the only one that will serve them. To save as many souls as possible, we could stay and upgrade our generator. What, shall we do this? So I could just end the game here and just say, nope, we finished. But no, we'll stay. Motivation will greatly rise. We're going to save Liverpool. You have to install 3 upgrades in order to raise the capacity of the city protected by your generator. A riser system, an overdrive, and heat vents. Each of them will require plenty of resources and labor to complete. Alright. So to get these upgrades, we need specific parts that we've already seen looking in here. And then they aren't built by laborers. They are built by our researchers. So once you're done with that in 2 hours, and actually let's build another workshop, because I have engineers kicking around somewhere, I'm sure. News from London, good work. Congratulations, you finished the generator not a moment too soon. Nationwide food shortages caused people to take to the streets. There are riots in Manchester, Birmingham, and Leeds. Chaos in colonies is even worse. Ebenezer Craven, the new Prime Minister, wants to redirect the resources for the generator program. We might have to change your next assignment. The icebreaker is on its way and should arrive to evacuate you soon. The icebreaker? We don't even have ice. Why do you need to send me an icebreaker? And you might remember Lord Craven from the refugees scenario, where Lord Craven was bringing his group of lords to take back our generator that we had stolen as the laborers and workers. So apparently he is the new Prime Minister. Alright, finish up your research. There we go. So now if we go back to the generator construction page, we have these 3 researchers, and the cost for them is not wood and steel like all the others, it's now these parts. So we will just have them start. Meanwhile, I have to find some more engineers. I think I have some staffed here. And here. And in this medical post for no reason. So you guys head over there. How many more engineers? I still have 9 free engineers, so let's build another workshop. Let's get this research going fast. There we go. One more spare engineer that can just have the day off. Tea and sympathy. Sir, Workers' Council is asking for tea. As is customary, company policy entitles engineers to afternoon tea served in the cookhouse, and the Workers' Council is asking for this benefit to be extended to everybody. We're out there literally doing the heavy lifting. Doesn't that earn us a hot cup of tea every now and then? So, not changing company policy would raise strike risk, which doesn't matter at this point, and discontent will rise slightly. Or, sure, tea for everyone. Motivation will rise. Yeah. Have some tea. Keep the motivation high. Listen to an evening service. Keep the motivation high.
Work's over for today. Time to rest.
3 more hours till we get that upgrade. The overdrive will take a day, and it costs 25 of these parts. We've actually got it down to 13 hours because of having so many engineers researching. Oh yeah, this one's not fully staffed. You can have the last engineer. Actually, we'll take a handful more out of our infirmary because we only have 2 sick people. We're full up on steel again, even though I have 2 large steel boxes. Wow. Job won't get any colder. It's freezing. How are we supposed to, I don't know, work?
You work for yourself.
So, I think day 37 is where they said that the ocean would freeze. We've gotten the next generator research, and the last one will take a day and 8 hours at 100% research rate. We've already got the parts for it. So, it will actually take us 19 hours, and then we're done. Mission accomplished. Letters from home, end of a world. Sir, an engineer received a letter from relatives in India. They explained that a sudden frost devastated their plantation and they are going back to England, as the colony is descending into chaos and the population is rising up against British rule. Surely we cannot let such information impact the morale of our people. I could censor the letter, I could non-censor it, and discontent would rise, or use the letter in propaganda. Yeah, that seems like the thing to do. And we'll have another motivational speech just to keep our motivation maxed.
You've earned it.
Not that it really matters. We've effectively already won the scenario. Just keep chugging along. Nearly maxed out food. An hour left. 100%. It's completed. Truly a marvel. Our toil is over. Finally, I can't believe it. I waited so long for this day. The end. Spark of hope. The huge generator disappears from view, dwarfed by the mountains towering over it, which soon too sink beyond the horizon. You have won against all odds, yet the future is dim. The empire is in chaos. People fight over work, food, heat. Company officers who welcomed you aboard says there will be a raffle for the crew to win a place at the generator should the worst happen. A raffle. You look over the tired yet proud faces of your people as the seas swell in the cold wind. You wonder if all this effort was for someone else's benefit entirely. We did it. New Liverpool. Site 113 can support 800 citizens and their chances of survival is average.